And welcome to the Red Leaf Retrocast, the Retrogaming Edition. This is episode 15.
Woo! Hi.
After, 35 minutes of technical difficulties, we have the podcast running, we are recording. It is a new year, a new episode.
New headers.
We're coming up on a year of doing this, actually, in a couple days. It'll be our year anniversary, and with this, we have a brand new host, my friend from Toronto, Colin. How you doing?
Woo! I'm doing great, aside from the fact that my computer is the entire reason for all the technical difficulties, because it's a dinosaur.
Well, you do have a microphone. You are one of the new permanent hosts added. Josh will be gone for a little while. He has pressing matters to attend to, but don't fret. He is still a permanent member on the podcast. The Red Leaf Retrocast will live on. No worries there.
Aw, yeah.
I didn't
So in
agree
the
to this. I
meantime,
thought Josh
we have
was dead.
3 solid hosts.
I thought Josh was dead. I didn't agree to this.
He does live in Windsor, so it's very dangerous.
Bastard.
Oh boy. We got a fantastic episode. This was Kevin's idea?
I'm going to take
Yes.
credit for it. Yeah, sure.
Yes, it was Kevin's idea for the theme of this episode. It is remastered games. However, we are not playing the actual remasters. We're playing the originals.
Awesome.
And as usual, each of us picks 2 games. Colin, since we asked you later, you are taking over for Josh's 2 picks.
Nice.
However, you will have the honors of picking the next theme episode instead of myself.
Oh, yeah?
It will be yours, and I think I have an idea what you're going to go for.
It's going to be
Well,
dating sims.
I don't really know of any old school dating sims.
A TOEFL boyfriend. Nice.
Old school
The only
dating
one that
sims,
com-
all of the Japanese Sega Saturn games.
Please, please actually don't.
Oh boy, so a little introduction for yourself, Colin. Why don't you tell the fine people what is you? Who are you?
What is you?
Well,
What is you? What is words?
as far as the internet is concerned, I'm kind of a nobody. The only thing I've done, aside from doing Let's Play recordings with you, is fan fiction. Basically, I do beta work for one friend of mine, and I'm writing one, although at the moment I haven't touched it in a couple of years' time. Yeah, I'm bad like that. But yeah, like I said, I've also done Let's Play videos with you on the channel Moosenspiel. We've done a whole whack load of different games, even if we haven't finished any of them.
Sure.
I think you finished like 2, if I watched.
I can't remember which ones exactly, but...
Oh, we
Just
finished
remember-
a lot of games and then just kind of messed around and played a whole bunch of others.
Yeah, we were... A couple of our mainstays were Dark Souls 3 and Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Those were fun.
Oh, you guys beat that?
No, we didn't.
I was going to say, I don't remember seeing the finale.
We only finished, not even a quarter of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and
Isn't
as
that
for Dark
long?
Souls, I'm not sure.
No, Dark Souls, we got stuck on Pontiff Sullivan, and then I got kind of deported, so...
Well, Dark Souls is also a bad game, so...
Hey, screw
incorrect,
you.
but whatever.
Dark Souls is a bad game.
And Colin, where are you from? Besides Toronto, where have you lived? You're a well-traveled individual.
Well, I grew up in Oshawa, which is about an hour east of Toronto, and I've gone all over Canada before. I mean, I stayed for 3.5 months in Yellowknife, which is in Northwest Territories, for those who don't know, for a co-op work experience for college. And I worked in Fort McMurray in northern Alberta for a while, I think about a year, doing a 2-week on, 2-week off stint. And...
That is something I personally can also relate to. Not Alberta oil, but oil field in general.
Nice. And
As an American, I have to ask, did you guys just say oil?
Yeah, oil.
You all want some freedom?
Well, he brought it up.
We can deliver some freedom to you.
Yeah, Colin worked in the oil sands. That's what Alberta's famous for. And while I was in the Gulf of Mexico on rigs in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. Specifically,
So,
I worked at the airport.
Isolation in 2 different areas.
Jeez.
Well, like I said, I only had a 2-week on, 2-week off deal. I get flown up for 2 weeks, and then after that's over, I go back home for 2 weeks. And as of right now,
I was the same exact way. I ended up doing 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off for a while as well.
oh no, yeah, it's pretty crazy like that. Although then again, actually, did you work 12-hour shifts every single day of those?
12 to 16-hour shifts.
Ah. Was it every single day, or did you have weekends off?
Every single day.
I feel your pain, almost.
Why would you want to work 12-hour days? That sounds terrible.
Well, you're kind of stuck out there, and that's your only option. That's how the industry works. That's why a lot of people get burned out. People get burned out after a while, very quickly. It's an industry with a high turnover rate, and on top of the fact that no one's hiring as well, and they laid a bunch of people off. That's an industry issue. But the point is, you will work 12 to 16-hour shifts, and then after that, you might, like in my case, I would work out for an hour, go into bed, play, be it my 3DS or what have you, I would have out there at the time,
right?
For an hour, and then I'd go to bed and do it all over again. So I'd have maybe 2 hours of free time, and then sleep for 6 to 7.
That sounds like a struggle and a half.
It's exhausting. It really was. But
Yeah.
you put in your time. You save a ton of money because you can't spend anything out there.
Yeah, really.
They give you like Civil War money, where like, all right, you got ship currency, you can only spend it here.
Well, my favorite thing, I did get caught eventually, but for a while I would bring out cigarettes and chewing tobacco to the rigs and sell them.
Wait, are you not allowed to?
No.
Why?
Well, it's kind of making a profit on an industry you don't own, that kind of thing. It's technically illegal.
That is the backbone of... Oh, wait, that was Canadian. Never mind.
Well, no, this was in the Gulf of Mexico. I would do it because
that is the backbone of American capitalism. Then
you got guys, being out there for 2 to 4 weeks at a time. They run out of their nicotine, and you're just like, hey, I got this tub of chewing tobacco.
You're like,
you want to buy some?
Like the bad bully who's just like, whoa, what was that?
Oh boy. Fantastic. Well, it is the new year. Colin, let's start with you. What games have you been playing?
Lately, aside from replaying one of the games for this cast, I've also been busy with Nier Automata.
Is that good?
I've been playing that as well.
I've gotten to the first ending.
Wait, how many are there?
I just beat the second ending 2 days ago.
Taking a bit of a break from that to catch up on Wolfenstein New Order as well.
That's what it's called.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I freaked out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that one. And,
it's a very unique game experience.
Yeah, definitely.
I heard
it's made by id Software. And since I also enjoyed their reboot of Doom in 2016, I also thought Wolfenstein New Order would be a great one. Plus, you recommended it to me.
New Order, I do recommend. The sequel, not so much.
Wait, the sequel's bad?
Well, I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's very underwhelming.
Oh.
Oh, yeah?
It's a game of cutscenes. That's the best way I can describe it.
Ah, that sucks.
What do you mean?
So, it's a shooter with no boss It's a first-person shooter with no boss fights.
Oh.
The AI is either... the AI is pretty dumb for the most part, and the most challenging part of the game is the fact that you're in firefights and you don't know where the bullets are coming from.
Ah, shit, that sucks.
I've had such high hopes for that game. I kind of wanted to play it.
Like, no boss fights, that sounds kind of...
No, I mean, the best part of the game comes about midway through, plus the game doesn't have an actual ending. So,
oh, jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I just don't recommend it. I mean, people have fun because the cutscenes are batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah?
I was going to say, when I was listening to Giant Bomb, they have a whole award section on their Game of the Year
I'll see what
podcast.
happens
So
from then on. But I have a couple of other games that I got over Christmas that I'm looking forward to playing. I got The Witcher 3 Complete Edition during Boxing Day.
Oh, good, man. That's a good game.
Yeah.
I do like that game.
Yeah. It's going to take a lot of my time.
Is it better than Zelda?
And I just recently got my copy of Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition in the mail.
Oh.
I got it for a good discount on Amazon, along with a Blu-ray of Your Name. Finally!
Anime references Kevin does not understand.
Though I think even he would be hard. It would be hard for him to miss Your Name, given how it exploded.
Wait, so how long is Witcher? Can I beat that in like an hour? What the fuck?
No,
No.
You might get out of the first dialogue scene in an hour.
So I have that much time to kill in Witcher then.
Oh man.
200 hours, it sounds like.
Ugh, nope.
It's at least a 100-hour game. That's for sure.
Ugh. I can do it in a weekend if my weekends were full of nothing. Maybe. I kind of want to try it because then I got Breath of the Wild and then I got distracted by that. So.
Oh, yeah.
It's life.
Yeah, go figure.
Okay. Kevin, what have you been up to?
Persona 5, Wild Arms when I bring it to work, and Persona 5.
Well, at least we're all playing anime-related games. That's fun.
If you want to call it that, but like, I don't know. I could binge on Persona 5 for hours. I've also played Wild Arms on Vita, and it emulates like shit on Vita.
Really?
It has random like button glitches where like if you're scrolling through a menu, it'll just be like nah and scroll you all the way back through the top. If you want to run from a battle, it is a gamble on a whole minute of your life. Like you probably might run from the battle, you might not, and if you don't, it goes through this long animation, and then the enemy attacks you. So like, it's a time investment if you do.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's okay. I love the art style so much, which is the only reason why I'm like chugging through it. And then I started. Well, we're gonna talk.
Which Wild Arms in particular? Is it the first one?
Yeah, first one.
Okay.
It's. I heard that one is a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, they really fixed a lot of them in the next few sequel games, and then the series just kind of died off, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't give a fuck about the story at all. It's like a very generic PS1 trope, like the gods in the will of the people and mystics, and then your characters may be a robot or not. I don't know. He lost his arm once. Remember that? That was cool. It's like,
you know what's funny is the sequels are almost exactly the same story, just better.
Perfect. So I could have not played this one then.
Nah, you probably should have started at like 2 or 3 or even 4.
Well, I'll go fuck myself.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I forget which one I have, but I have a Vita Wild Arms game as well. I picked up. I think it's 3 or 4. I'd have to open up the Vita.
What Vita Wild Arms?
Well, no, it's the PS1 port.
Oh, I was like, there's a Vita specific Wild Arms. I just need it because it's a Vita game. Yeah, other than that, I kind of just sat and focused on Mario Odyssey. I got a Switch.
Yes, you did get a Switch, which will lead into...
I'm so jealous.
I played all of one game that I want for it.
With
Mario.
Was it Mario?
It was Mario. Actually, I lied. I want Mario Rabbids. But then after that, I don't know.
Well, we'll definitely get into that because that, you know what, that's a good segue. But I have to talk about what I've been playing.
Yeah, I was gonna just ask you, but you know, fucking rob my thunder, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I've been rocking a ton of indie games since about the middle of December because I went on this binge of just saying fuck it, I gotta finish some of these goddamn games. Like I finished the DLC of Horizon Zero Dawn, which was amazing.
Nice.
I'm going through Nier Automata right now. I finished run B. It's a game of multiple endings, but they're all related to each other in some way. It's like Colin was saying, it's a very unique experience.
Yep.
It does have the texture visuals of an upscaled PS3 game or PS2 game at times, but I am playing on the PS4. The textures are different on the PC.
I heard
I've seen
the
the
best
I've
way
seen
to
the side by
describe
sides.
Nier was a shitty game that's really good.
What?
No, that's the first one.
No,
This is
no,
Nier
no.
Automata.
I'm saying, like, people, like, I've been listening to a bunch of people talk about it, and they just go, yeah, this is a real shitty game somebody cares a whole lot about, and it's real good. Like they know it's
not
bad.
It's not a shitty game by any means, but I have experienced rare bugs time and time again on it. Like, every time I go through a certain section, whether I clip through a wall and get stuck and have to restart. There was a whole section of the game where doors would lock on their own,
What do you mean,
or not lock. So, like, there's a section called the factory, and you go in there, and the elevator is apparently supposed to lock, keeping you from going out again. However, I was able to go out. Didn't know that was supposed to happen. I didn't know that was a bug. Then later in that same level, I got stuck going backwards to try and, like, farm enemies or levels or anything.
Dude, this
'Cause
is
the
what I'm
door, like,
talking about when I
midway would
said
lock.
this is a shitty game that somebody cares about a whole lot.
Well, no, these are incredibly rare bugs that just very
All
few have
happen to
experienced.
work at the same time. It sounds cool. I want to play it. It's just I didn't know what it was because I was like, who wanted a Nier sequel? Anybody?
Well, it's got some fetish robot appeal going on.
Never mind. Got
Yeah.
it. That explains everything now. Say no more.
but
Especially when you're
but
climbing
there's
up ladders.
yeah, but there's countless themes in the game. Countless themes that come
Yeah.
at you. Lots of fourth wall breaking elements to it.
You fight the
it's
Square
got-
Enix boss.
The boss battles are tons of fun. Yeah, I can't speak highly enough about Nier, despite some of my frustrations with it.
Yeah.
So it is.
Like, I'm rubbish at hack and slash games. I won't deny that, and that's not why those aren't elements going into why I dislike parts of the game. Like, I never
it's a
fault
hack
a
and
game for
slash?
being tough.
I thought it was a standard JRPG.
No, it's a hack and slash game.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no RPG elements really involved at all, except level up
This
systems.
thing looks like an RPG, like back to front. I'm like so lost in what it is now.
Yeah, I think it's based on Platinum Games. Or
Platinum made it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's closer to the action gameplay of, say, Bayonetta, if anything.
Sold. All I needed. I just want Bayonetta to come in and be a character.
Yeah, I was actually talking to somebody about Nier Automata, and she mentioned how since Nier and Nier Automata are essentially sequels of Drakengard, they're based off of different endings from Drakengard. So now I'm kind of interested in playing that, but
That is the most
I don't know where
random
I'd find it.
connection ever. It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah, I look at Nier and Nier Automata as, like, standalone games. I don't give a shit if they say they're in the same universe or not. They're just so different.
I was gonna say, is
Yeah.
it like even related to Nier at all?
No, you could
The
say
gameplay
no.
is kind of similar.
Well, like why
'Cause
call it Nier? I feel like everyone was like, "What? What game?"
I feel like the connection might become more apparent if we were to play both games to the end, but as it stands, they're fine as standalone ones.
Nah, though.
It depends on how much personal investment you have in them, I guess.
I don't remember anyone talking about the first Nier until they announced Nier 2 at E3, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, the game exists. Let's all buy it and skyrocket the price."
Which was great, because I got that game for $10, and it was rare then, but no one wanted it. So that's why it was so cheap. And then all of a sudden, now it's, what, $80 or some shit?
Shameless plug. I just did a video about this that I'm uploading tonight. Are people on the internet ruining the retro gaming? But it's really your stupid asses for buying everything after you learn about it.
Well, it's consumerism. It's fine.
Oh, it's consumerism, but everyone's like, it was a secret in the gaming community, and now you're making a video about it, and now prices will go up. I'm like, well, then you're a fucking idiot for going to buy it now. Maybe just wait it out. I have opinions.
I can see.
Well, I can't wait to hear your opinions, because speaking of consumerism,
Oh, good.
Nintendo Mini Direct happened.
Yeah,
Yes, it did.
I did also a video on this. I am a plugging whore.
You did. I even made notes, so I have questions to ask you.
Nice. Perfect.
Oh, great. Yeah, people on the internet were clamoring for Nintendo to do a Direct, because at this point last year was their major Direct. It was highlighting the Nintendo Switch, which we had our first episode highlighting over.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember that, Mr. Cunts of Kiv.
Who?
You.
I know. I do remember that, and look, I shat on the Switch a lot. I still got issues with it, but once you play it, that thing's kind of magical.
So you know the appeal now.
I get the appeal, but I am never taking that thing as a handheld. That is too large and fragile. What the fuck is wrong with people?
It's not super portable.
If it was like a Vita size, I would love it.
I mean, I take it everywhere with me. I take it to bowling tournaments and just throw it in my car and I'm good.
I'm gonna pull my Switch down the lane, guys. Here we go.
I mean, while I'm waiting in between shifts, I mean, but being unemployed, bowling being my only source of income, and living out of my car on certain weekends.
Nice.
Yes, I have been doing that.
Wait, what, only on weekends?
Well, yeah, I have to travel and can't just spend money on hotel rooms. So
Okay.
yeah, I turned my little GTI into a mobile home.
A mobile Switch station. Nice.
Yeah, so the Switch is keeping me quite company.
Nice. Oh man, that reminds me of last weekend. I had a flat tire at a subway station after getting back from Toronto, and then since I had just given blood that day, I didn't want to exert myself changing it. So I ended up calling CAA, and I ended up waiting 4 hours for them.
Oh my god.
And it was below -20 outside, but thankfully there was a Starbucks and a Wendy's Tim Hortons nearby, so I didn't freeze. And thankfully I had my 3DS with me.
I always carry something with me just in case, man. It's a smart move.
Spent the whole time playing Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Finally.
Oh, I want to play that.
I forgot that game existed.
It's fun.
I love that game.
Oh. All right. Well, back on topic here. Yeah. The winter over the last few weeks have been crazy.
Hell yeah, I've been working.
Yeah.
So if you listen to our previous episode, in fact, we were fairly discussing kind of the 2018 outlook on the Switch, and we kind of predicted that it looked like it was just going to be a lot of ports, at least until next summer. And then, sure enough, this Nintendo Mini Direct happened, just to kind of showcase what's going to be coming out sooner rather than later. That's clearly what they were focused on, just kind of the here and now, to appease the public.
Appease.
Would you disagree, guys?
They appease the casuals.
So, sure enough, the Nintendo Mini Direct kind of focused on ports. I don't see this as a bad thing. What do you guys think?
Look,
I'm okay with it.
It's fine because, good. It's getting games, which is never a bad thing. But
right,
it's I don't know. I'm one of the 4 people that bought a Wii U, so
I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, so there's half the sales right there. To me, I don't care about Donkey Kong topical cream. I don't really want Dark Souls remastered because I just fucking hate that game in general. Pokken, I just never had, so I'll get that eventually. I know it wasn't announced, I'm just saying it.
Well, they did announce DLC for Pokken and some support characters, so they are expanding on the game. The best thing about Pokken coming to the Switch is you don't have to deal with the 2-player screen system with one player playing on the pad and the other on the TV. They actually have split screen for Pokken.
Also, well, the good things that came out of it. Are we done with the ports, or we want to talk about good things?
No. We want to get your take on just ports coming to the Switch.
Yeah, ports are fine.
And then we'll get into the games that they announced.
It's just, if they're too expensive, like, I know that Dark Souls Remastered is going to cost at least $50 American.
And it sure as shit should not. It should be like a $20 to $30 game, tops.
If it's more than 30, that's dumb. And you know what? It makes me angry that people will buy it because, well, it's a Switch game and it's remastered. So I'm like, I don't give a fuck, man. That should not be $60. Game's old. Like,
yeah, I love Dark Souls. I love Dark Souls 1. It's a very challenging game, despite the Capper Demon being a total asshole.
What demon?
The Capper Demon. It's this one boss in Dark Souls in which you're in this tight little room corridor thing. 2 dogs attack you, kill you in like 2 seconds, and the Capper Demon attacks really fast. It's a cheap boss. It shouldn't really even exist.
Nice.
Even comes up as a standard enemy later.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, the Capper Demon's an asshole. But yeah, like I am super excited for Dark Souls Remastered on the Switch. Mm-hmm. But like you said, Kevin, if it's an overpriced Switch grabber, kind of like Skyrim coming out as it did, I won't be buying it if it's over $30. Hell, I didn't buy Axiom Verge for $30 or more because that's a $10 game everywhere else.
Yeah, you should not, like, I don't support those practices. People are gonna do it because they're like, but the Switch, and like, dude, just stop being a dumbass. Like, it's not worth it. Like, Skyrim is like to me, it's a $10 game.
Skyrim's literally out on everything, including virtual reality.
Yeah, but it's real. Yeah. It's real bad on virtual reality. Don't forget that.
I've heard mixed things. I've heard it's a different experience. It's well worth the PlayStation VR. Mm-hmm. It still has a lot of kinks, but what do you expect? It's from Bethesda.
Yeah, I don't know.
Of course.
Bethesda games are people give Bethesda way too much of a pass, but that's a conversation for a minute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Colin, what do you think of all these ports coming to the Switch in the next 6 months or so?
I'm good with it. In particular, when I saw what they had available for The World Ends With You port, I was like, shut up and take my money.
That's a whole that's a different
I immediately thought of you, Colin, when I saw that as an announcement. We'll definitely get into that.
That's a different level of port. Like that's like the exception where I'm like, you got me by the balls here.
Yeah, I was actually kind of intrigued by how they might integrate the Joy-Cons, since on the DS it was mostly touchscreen gameplay, but what really hooked me in was the fact that there's going to be an entire new story scenario added to it, and I'm always up for that. Yeah, that's what it actually said.
I missed that part.
Really? Huh. Well, in any case, I'm going to buy it on day one, whether or not I have a Switch by that point.
Oh, okay. So you're literally the person I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I mean,
I want to show my support for...
When you love a game that much, you just want it, and then you're just like, I will have this eventually. I mean, I did that for a few PS4 games.
Really? Like what?
I did it for Bloodborne. And I did it for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay. You guys are weird. That's fine.
Hey, we're showing our support for the series. If the more people who buy it day one, the better chance we'll have of getting a sequel.
Yeah, but what if the game's bad?
You just gotta have your confidence, man.
This particular port is not going to be bad because it's an update of a game I already love the crap out of. It's my all-time favorite video game, dude.
I did not know
literally
you were a wizard. Yo, have you not heard of the Silent Hill HD collection?
Heard of it, have not bought it.
It's trash. I rest my case. Bring in the dancing lobsters.
You were burned once, and now all other ports are obsolete.
No, I'm just saying, like, I want to make sure, like, they don't hand it off to some company who's just like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. You guys ever heard of Pokemans? This sounds gay.
Oh boy.
For the other ports, I'm just kind of meh on them.
Well,
at least it's
so to cut you off here.
Nice.
The I don't want to get into the specifics of a lot of the games just yet,
Okay.
So the first year of the Nintendo Switch saw at least a major kind of first-party release every month or so, which I think strengthened console sales heavily. I mean, it already outsold the Wii U in less than a year, which is a holy crap kind of realization that that's all the time it took. On top of the fact that it's already a third of the way towards Xbox One, which we also kind of touched on, saying, is it possible that Nintendo catches up to Xbox within a year? And I still don't think it's possible within the next 12 months to reach 30 million.
Well,
but I think it's going to catch up fast in terms of sales. That's for sure.
I agree.
It's going to catch up. The problem I had, I mean, it's a good problem to have, but like I feel like Nintendo just blew their load real early. Like when you throw Mario and Zelda out right away, like obviously it's good to have those at launch, but like, man, they threw a lot of good shit right away. Like, you know, I'm just worried to see what's coming next, and I'm sure they will because they're not a dumb company. Well, all right, they're a dumb company, but like they make good games, and I'm sure that like the next Kirby or Yoshi or whatever is going to be good.
Well, it seems from what we know, this year he's going to be kind of the family friendly games and a lot of ports that people may have missed out on. Hence the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze port, because let's face it, not a lot of people bought a Wii U.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a lot of those. I think we're gonna see a port of Smash by the end of the year, and that's gonna boost it.
Yeah.
If we don't, you know what? I'm like torn whether it's gonna be a port or it's gonna be a new Smash. I feel like they would put their full effort in.
No, it's gonna be like Pokken DX. It's gonna be exactly like that. Mario Kart Deluxe.
Yeah.
Why would they not just continue that trend when they know those games are selling?
Yeah, I guess.
Save the brand new Smash game for the end of the console life to kind of get some last ditch effort into it.
Nah, man, haven't you read the news? Consoles are dead.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, PS4 sales and Switch sales just dominating, of course. Yeah,
nah, the
totally
Xbox One sales prove consoles are dead, man.
Okay, I have to bring this up. So an article came out by Kotaku about Xbox One and Xbox One S sales in Japan.
Yeah.
In November and December. Combined, they didn't even break 100.
Oh no.
Yeah.
100 sales.
Go Xbox.
Yeah, there was 1 week at the end of November, like Black Friday, that Xbox One S sold 49 total consoles.
I can almost
and the Wii U that is discontinued sold 32.
I can almost feel P&G's salt. No, but like there was 1 month where they sold like I think like 9 units, like July last year.
Oh,
and like and then I was listening to another podcast like 9 million. They're like no, like 9 Xboxes in the whole country. In Japan, obviously.
Yeah. On top of that article, the Xbox. This was all kind of related to the Xbox One X release in Japan, and they had articles saying Xbox One X sold out in Japan everywhere across the nation. However, there were only about like 1,500 Xbox One X in the entire country. So stores would have like 3 pre-orders, and that's all they were able to sell. Nice. So they're like, we sold out.
Xbox One, it's still the one with the Kinect and online only. It's like the beta version. That's all they had.
Oh no.
I don't get the point of them existing as a console anymore. I just don't.
Xbox?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, 2018 is kind of, I'm seeing it as a make or break year. Me and Drew on the Modern podcast kind of went into a lot of opinions over kind of speculation of what's upcoming, with 3 JRPGs supposedly in the works or confirmed. I don't remember for the Xbox. Maybe it's a last ditch effort for the Asian market. Otherwise, they'll just kind of continue what they're doing and see what happens. It's Microsoft; they don't really give a shit.
I don't think they know what they're doing, like, at all.
Well, Phil Spencer knows what he's doing for the North American market.
Sony should hire him.
And that's about it.
Sony should just fucking hire him.
That's my very one-sided opinion. But back to Nintendo. So now let's get into some of the games. My first hope is seeing some sort of first-party release announcement, at least through June, but we didn't really get that. Instead, we got a lot of ports and then a few games that we didn't really expect. So let's get into the ports first. We have Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which we mentioned.
Tropical Cream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super fun game that not a lot of people played. I'm happy it's coming to the Switch. I won't be getting it, but people will.
I want to play it. Definitely.
Payday 2, so you can rob banks again. That's coming out February 27th.
It's a cool ass game. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking love Payday. But when I read the summary, it said like local like multiplayer. I'm like, please tell me there's some kind of split screen, and I hope it's not just like bring your Switch over and we can play, because that's the same.
Well, the Switch has a hard time with split screen. It doesn't have the hardware capacity for that. That's what's holding a lot of those games back. That's why we didn't get. I read an article saying that's why Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart Deluxe was made the way it was.
What do you mean with Mario Kart?
So they had to fiddle with a lot of downgrading elements of the game during split screens, so the hardware was capable of handling it. And Splatoon 2 didn't really want to do that, hence why there isn't really local split screen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that exists, I guess.
But yeah, Payday 2 continues a sort of kind of trend of getting games that are like 5 years ago onto the Switch, which I think is actually pretty ingenious because, let's face it, when the new hardware comes out, majority of the gamer, not everyone's like you and I, Kevin, where we kind of keep our consoles.
Yeah, no, I have to remember that sometimes.
Yeah, so many people just kind of trade in their Xbox 360s, PS3s, and all their games for the new hotness. So Payday 2.
Don't say that again.
What, the new hotness?
Don't.
What's wrong with it?
Don't say the new hotness ever again. Sound like a dad trying to be cool.
You don't like my dad references?
Yo, I'm hip. I'm young. I got the new
hip.
Nintendo Switch.
I know of the things. I have the Nintendo Switcher.
You guys want to go play? Mario? Fucking don't you dare say Mario.
Why? That's how they say it in Canada.
You're a bad person if you say Mario.
So Canadians?
Yes.
And most of Europe?
Bad people, all of them.
Oh God, your American privilege is showing.
You're fake news, okay? You are fake news. Politics.
Oh boy. One game I'm really excited about is the port of Ys 8.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
That PS4 and Vita game that's probably cheaper. Yep.
Well, so here's the thing. It is definitely, I think, stronger as a pseudo handheld type of game. And I mean, I hate to say it, but not a lot of people played this game.
No. I honestly don't know a lot of people that play Ys at all.
Like Ys is a fantastic franchise, especially after it came out of the let's call them the middle numbers.
The middle numbers?
Yeah, like 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, I thought you meant like the generational years of consoles.
No. Like Ys 3, 4, 5. They were rough games. But Ys 8, if you don't know my opinion already, I spoke very highly of it when it first came out. I have it for the Vita. It was a $40 game. It's $50 on the PS4.
Jeez.
Yeah. So if it comes out around that price on the Switch, I'm all for it. But I'm also for such a good game coming to such a popular console, especially an RPG. I mean, because with the debacle of Xenoblade Chronicles 2...
With debacle? He's fine.
The game is not fine.
You shut your whore mouth.
I still have to play Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Yeah. And I have the copy on my Wii.
Kevin, do you have Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
I had the first one. And it looks pretty good from what I've seen my buddy play it.
Xenoblade Chronicle 2 has good gameplay. Everything else is shit.
Yeah. Okay,
It's anime as fuck.
nice. I can cuddle with my body pillow and play.
Gotta make sure it's Black Butler, right?
Well, I made a joke on EZ being on Vita, but like to be fair, I think less people have a fucking Vita than they had a Wii U. So, I mean, it's good for me on
the Vita did outsell the Xbox One S.
You can suck my dick. I was lying. All hail the Vita.
Damn right.
The Vita's the best.
World Ends With You. Hooray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hyrule Warriors.
Wait a minute. World Ends With You is on a way better platform. I totally forgot about it. Not the DS. It is on your mobile phone, which is the best way to play games. Am I right? I'll kill myself.
Mobile phones can go to hell.
Yeah.
Mobile phone games can go to hell.
I was gonna say I kind of.
Yeah. Anybody who says a phone game is like they're in their top 10 of the year.
That's what we call.
You're
brain
wrong,
damage.
and you need to reevaluate your skills.
Look, a lot of people have brain damage. You know, you gotta.
Oh jeez.
Let them be wrong. It's fine.
Speaking of which, have you guys tried out Animal Crossing Fetch Quest the game on your mobile device?
I have yet to play any Animal Crossing game.
Well, I wouldn't start with Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
Why not? You could spend money and get things, and then. Yep.
Yeah, that's shake a tree, get an orange, give it to the dude, get more fake money.
All
to
those animals are
build
really
your tent.
fucking pretentious and full of like, I told you to get me a new sofa. I'm not coming to your camp. This is bullshit. Fuck this place.
Well, when you put it that way, it sounds hilarious.
Well, that's what that game is. It's like, I'm only giving your campsite if you get me a new lava lamp, and if you fucking don't, we're not friends. Like you're literally bribing people to be your friends in that game.
Kevin, I want 4 oranges. Nothing less, nothing more. And they have to be ripe.
No, fuck it. You should have non-ripe oranges, so I give them to you. They can get ripe in your house, and then you can eat them fresh. Go fuck yourself, JD.
Are these oranges not from the specific island I wanted you to get them from?
My town has oranges, and those are the only fruits I'm, like, capable to grow. So if you can give me some, like, coconuts, I know we don't live in a tropical climate, but if you don't get me them, we're not friends. I don't know if you understand this.
Okay, Hyrule Warriors. Did you guys play this game when it came out?
I have it on Wii U.
A little bit.
Here's the thing. I'm being good for the Switch. The Wii U version kind of sucks to play 2-player on because whatever genius programmed that, if you play it split screen on Wii U, it does the tablet TV thing, right? But the TV resolution, like, for some reason, it has to match the Wii U tablets. So it looks it looks like shit on the TV. You're like, why is this in like 480p? Like, yeah, it's real stupid. I don't know who programmed that.
Wow, some people. I've read reviewers that say it's the best Zelda game to come out in years, including over Breath of the Wild.
What? I do have issues with Breath of the Wild, but yeah, okay. That guy's dumb. Whoever said that.
I'm not a fan of any Dynasty Warriors type game.
You can eat shit.
And this is no exception, but a lot of people love Hyrule Warriors. They love what it's about. They love the story involved. They love the characters. They love just kicking ass with all of them.
How's the Fire Emblem one? No one played that yet?
It has some of the dumbest AI you've ever seen.
It's all the Dynasty Warriors games do, so that doesn't deter me at all.
No. Like, this takes it to a new level.
Dude, there are hundreds of people blindly running at you going, oh, that guy's murdering everyone.
Kevin, you don't understand. This is like a one-on-one boss battle, and the boss will not attack you. It's broken.
10 out of 10, best game.
Let's see here. Moving on. Mario Rabbids DLC with Donkey Kong.
Okay.
That looks fun. I mean, why didn't they think of Bananarang sooner?
That's got to set up for a future Donkey Kong game.
I also love how they put no effort into the Rabbid versions of those characters. Just like, Rabbid Mario, fuck it.
The humor in that game is so good.
I remember playing a little bit of it with your Switch, JD.
Oh yeah, we did do that. I did show you that, didn't I?
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and since I love XCOM, it was a lot more fun that way for me.
Yeah.
I found the game too easy, and then all of the challenges way too hard. There's no in between in that game.
Have you ever tried playing co-op in that game?
No.
Alright, a small story. I must preface this with one of my best friends, biggest dick in the world. So anyway,
Okay.
We go over to his house. He's
Did
like,
it fit inside you?
Yes. He put his Joy-Con right inside me in my dock, if you get me. So he hands it off. It's me, my friend Mac Daddy, and my friend Joey, whose house we're at. And he goes, "Here, you guys go play Mario Rabbids." And a strategy game is not something you just jump people into. Like, even if it's Mario, like, you gotta learn the units, their abilities, like, what they do and all that, right?
Right.
So, like, we're trying to sit and play it. I put it on easy because I'm like, alright, let's learn what we're doing. And he backseat fucking drove us the whole way. He's like, no, go on this unit. No, jump off his head. Like, no, you gotta use this. And I'm like, how the fuck would I know any of that? This is my first time playing. Like, that game's cool to have co-op, but man, you gotta invest some time into a game like that.
That must have been a future update after because as soon as the game released, I played it basically nonstop and beat it very quickly.
I don't know how to get to that menu. He just kind of threw us into it. And then I was like, he's like, oh, you want to play Witcher? I'm like, absolutely fucking not. Like, I want to play that game single player.
I think I will be getting this DLC. I'm not 100% decided on it yet, but it's very enticing to me.
I'll get it eventually.
So, one first-party title, I kind of misspoke. We did get one first-party title confirmed release, and that is the Kirby game.
Is it? I heard it was 3DS, not Switch.
Kirby Star Allies?
Is it 3DS or Switch?
No, it's Switch.
It's Switch,
I thought it was
they also announced a 3DS Kirby.
Why? Like, let the 3DS die. As much as I love that thing, like, you gotta decide whether or not you're doing this hybrid thing, Nintendo, if you're gonna be like, well, you can buy 3DS, I guess. I don't know. To me, it's like, have some confidence in your system.
I don't mind.
I love basically every Kirby game that has ever come out. Yeah, they're on the easy side. That is very much okay with me.
Yeah, but they're comfortable.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
a good way to
much.
put it.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't need every game to be hard. Sometimes I just want to look at Kirby's stupid face. I like it.
Yeah, that's what Dynasty Warriors is for some people.
Yeah,
Just a way
exactly.
to blow off steam.
Dumb AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like Kirby Battle Royale or something, but Star Allies is going to be released on March 16th, which I'm pretty pumped for.
Kirby Player Unknown. Nice.
Ha.
Kirby's Battlegrounds.
Oh.
Let's get that game.
Oh.
Come on, you know you want to.
Oh, I don't know. The direct showed Kirby having like this artist ability, and he draws on a canvas, and like Waddle Dee comes out and kicks the shit out of somebody, or was it what's his face, dude with the hammer,
King DDD?
Yeah.
DDD, yeah, DDD comes out and like bitch slaps somebody with his hammer. But yeah, comfort food game. I like that, Kevin.
And it looks like it's going to have a co-op capability, so that kind of intrigues me. I like good co-op experiences.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of those. I don't think we get enough co-op games.
Yeah.
Now for the two new unexpected releases. And Kevin, you really like this one, the Mario Tennis Aces.
Yeah, because I love the Game Boy game. I never played the advanced one, but like it was a good little sports RPG, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of nifty. And then the Wii one came out. I was like, what the fuck? There's all the cool stuff. This is just tennis. This is not what I want in life. It's pretty good. I for some reason got really into Mario Tennis on N64, which is not an RPG, but the handheld ones, like when you make a character, go through the whole story, and your whole dream's to play tennis with Mario and watch his sweat drip down his mustache.
I sense some fan fiction coming.
Yeah.
Colin, get writing.
Not for me.
Colin, get writing. Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be good. I kind of like that.
It's going to cost you $5,000.
Yeah, right.
5,000
Canadian money.
Okay,
I got
cryptocurrency.
No, it's
Canadian
No,
cryptocurrency?
American.
5,000 Canadian money. I have $5 American, which translates real well, right?
Oh, that joke is so old.
But cheers. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm excited.
But yeah, I'm excited for Mario Tennis Aces too, because even though I haven't played any since the N64 version, I remember just during a band tour in grade school, staying at a billet's place, they had Mario Tennis, and we played the hell out of that, and I loved it. So, and this one looks really fun from what we saw in the direct version. I mean, I never imagined that any of the tennis games actually had any story modes because I wasn't paying attention, but I'm intrigued.
The last Mario Tennis game that came out, the one on the Wii U, didn't really resonate with people too well. It felt very bare bones. It was just a standard tennis game with Mario characters. It didn't really do anything, so this looks like it's a step in the right direction. I'm kind of curious why a Mario Golf game hasn't been announced with it.
Golf is fucking boring.
Take that back.
Absolutely not.
Golf games are super fun.
Which ones?
Everybody's golf?
Okay, so Everybody's Golf and Golf Story. The last two ones to do anything unique. Actually, we don't. Golf Story is Mario Golf, which is better.
So, will you be getting Mario Tennis, Kevin?
Oh yeah,
you will be.
Yeah.
So that'll add to it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll add to.
I will too.
I have one whole Switch game now, right now.
You haven't gotten Mario Rabbids?
Nope, I haven't yet. I want
Blaster
Master Zero too.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't any ports you want that are actually fairly priced?
Pokken.
Okay.
Eventually.
Oh, okay. You got a good list of games going then.
Oh, and then I want to talk about it, but we're not there yet.
SNK Heroines.
Oh yeah! I fucking love my.
Gal's Fighters from the Neo Geo Pocket Color returns. There's a timely reference for you.
I want that fucking game so bad.
So, in the early 2000s, the Neo Geo console had a handheld release, and SNK came out with an all-girls fighting game. And needless to say, the Neo Geo Pocket Color didn't sell too well up against the Game Boy Advance. Failed. Now we have a chance to relive those failed moments with an all-female roster of SNK in all sorts of outfits that you just wouldn't have even imagined. And it's going to be uncensored.
Meaning?
I was just going to say, I was like, how much is going to get censored, given what we saw of Tokyo Mirage Sessions?
Tokyo Mirage Sessions is a good example of a Japanese anime-type game getting censored coming to the West. And
unzip my pants.
This game was confirmed to be uncensored. And coming out this summer as well.
Fuck is my lube?
Yeah, I think this might be a must-buy.
Yeah.
Let the internet flame wars commence.
Did you ever see that episode of South Park where they're judging the kids pageant and all the judges are like going up, going crazy? That's how I feel about this SNK Heroines. I didn't know how to say that because they're like getting weird while they're watching a children's pageant, so halfway through my sentences, like, I should stop right now.
Oh, jeez.
Point is, SNK Heroines, am I right? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't played any SNK games over the course of my life, so...
Never played a King of Fighters game?
I've heard of them, I haven't played any
How do you just hear of them and not play them?
15 of them, man.
How do you do that?
Well, there's the Anime Abandoned Internet series. There's a couple of animes that were made based on King of Fighters that the guy
they're
reviewed.
bad. Oh, they're bad.
It was like cheesy 80s bad.
Nice.
Oh, that's worse than... It's like cheesy 80s in the 90s bad. Yeah. For some reason, this SNK Heroines game is getting a lot of positive feedback.
Because it's you're playing it for the plot.
Yeah.
It's
so
really
it's
really striking that Dead or Alive feel, isn't it?
Yeah. Or Senran Kagura.
The game's got a good plot. Fighting's real tight. Plot's good. I want
So,
Give me more.
out
Fox.
of the direct, which game are you most excited for? Which is a must buy for you?
SNK Heroines.
Colin?
World Ends With You.
World Ends With You.
Although I'm also interested in Celeste. Because I love a good... That? It's like one of the... it was like a retro pixel style 2D platformer.
You're telling me there's an indie game with retro style art?
But this one in particular looks good.
Yeah, it's got the Hat in Time kind of double jump dash thing going on.
Yeah, and wall slide type deal.
Did not play Hat in Time, so I have no idea what you just said.
Neither have I.
Double
but
jump time.
I'm interested.
It's got double jump time.
Double jump dash. Yeah.
Double jump dash. That should be a shirt. When did we get shirts made for this podcast?
I'm excited for Kirby. Kirby proves time and time again it's always a solid game. It's a safe bet. I'm ready to just kind of chill with a beer and enjoy the pink puff ball.
I'm super into it. I just...
Yeah, well, 1.5 months away or 2 months isn't waiting so long.
Yeah, but it is though. Actually, I've learned to just not buy games. There's so many right now, and I don't think I'm gonna buy a Switch cartridge. I think I'm gonna download it.
No, because then you'll need a.
I have a 256 gig there.
Okay.
Because Nintendo doesn't understand memory. The only thing I'm worried about is that Nintendo doesn't fucking get how to make an account system, so if my Switch ever breaks, I'm fucked. But, you know, innovative handheld, right? Cool.
Yeah, that's why I try to avoid digital on Nintendo platforms as much as I can.
Like, not for me, but if you're intending it to be like a portable, like, you don't want to carry around a bunch of cartridges, like...
Well, that's what the case is for.
I don't want to carry a Merce. So there.
You don't want a sweet little Splatoon or Mario Odyssey case to put the Switch in with like 4 game cartridges slots?
No. I just want to have them ready to play at any time. I am on this digital bandwagon lately, man. I got no space. I'm like, I don't want to get up and change a disc. I'm lazy.
Wow. 5 feet across the room just is too much.
I think it's like 7.
Oh, your American privilege is showing again.
Your fake news. That's solid. I don't give a fuck.
Meanwhile, I'm all over the physical stuff. I just want to be able to have it in my hands. And plus, even if the system breaks, it's still there.
Nice.
Right, it's easier to replace the system than a ton of games.
Yeah.
Plus, it makes a good conversation piece in your house.
Like, oh, this thing, my Switch? Yes, that's your light switch. Now, can you tell me what this video game thing is over here?
What is this Panasonic DVD player? I've never seen that before. That's a 3DO.
What kind of games can you play on this? The Flowers of Robert Mapplethorpe. I think that was actually the CDI. Now that I said that out loud, but still,
it's okay. It's kind of
same
close.
fucking system. Who cares?
Actually, the thing that always gets brought up when I have people over is, are those Sega consoles?
Yes.
It's like, yes, all of them.
Yes, my Sega CDI. Yep, that's it.
I actually don't have a Sega CD.
Just fucking just don't, please.
Yeah, I don't need one. I got a 3DO.
Oh, cool. Never mind. I forgot you could play Sonic 3DO on that one, yeah.
So Nintendo's looking good for the first half of the year. A lot of ports. I personally won't be buying more than it looks like a game or two, which is fine because Monster Hunter World and a few other PS4 games are coming out. So.
Monster Hunter World's not coming to Switch though, right?
No, it's gonna be on everything else.
Fucking goddamn it!
There's no way the Switch would be able to handle that kind of game.
It looks fun.
Are we gonna
Monster
talk
Hunter
about
World.
the possibility of GTA 5 coming to Switch? Because I'm saying no.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
People have
If
been...
it does, good for that.
Yeah, I don't know. That game's been on everything. I don't think Nintendo would allow it. Like, we're being mature. We're gonna have Doom and Wolfenstein. They're like, oh, hold up, GTA.
Yeah,
Hold up.
Doom and Wolfenstein are one thing, but Grand Theft Auto is a different level of mature rated.
I would see Red Dead Redemption 2 getting a port before
Fuck
GTA 5.
no way. That game is going to be way too intensive.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
I mean, the first one was really massive as it is. This one is first Red Dead Redemption. This one would probably be even bigger.
It's going to be lit.
Oh, you God damn it. You get so mad at my lame thing, and then you throw in the word lit.
Because I'm using hip young lingo. You're like, oh, I don't know how to play on the Segas.
It's just like the guy in the Tropical Freeze trailer. Yeah. He's like, bodacious, this righteous dude.
Wait, hold on. When the fuck did this happen?
It was when he was describing like the surfer monkey in Tropical Freeze.
Sounds like the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, all this Ninja Turtles lingo.
Cowabunga, dude.
Well, he didn't say that, but he definitely said bodacious and righteous.
Come into my van, kid. I got candy.
So we got. Okay, moving on.
Don't tell me.
Okay.
I sent you guys a Word document.
Did you?
Got a few questions here. All from the same guy, John. He's basically the only guy that sends questions these days.
Nice. What up, John?
What are some games you've spent the most amount of hours with?
For what?
Stardew Valley.
Any system?
Yeah.
I spent 91 hours with Stardew Valley.
That's on the low ball for a lot of people.
I'm gonna say Persona 4 currently. It took me a literal calendar year to beat.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I'd say like Rogue Legacy for PS4 because that game is infinite. Even if you beat it, like you can just keep fucking playing it over and over and over and over and over. Oh, yeah, it's so good.
So my answer, I went quite specific. I went all the sports games from 2003 to 2012, especially the FIFA games, and then specifically the SmackDown wrestling games from 2000 to 2006.
You know, I take back my words. I had SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 for PSP, and I played the shit out of General Manager mode. I fucking love that game. I would make guys.
Those were the multiplayer games of choice growing up.
Yes.
I guess you could throw Excite Bike in there on the NES, or as I called it, Exit Bike when I was little.
Good.
I have no way of tracking how many hours I did. I just know I played it just about every day.
Jeez.
I think for me growing up, it was SimCity, SimTower, and The Sims, along with my brother and sister.
And I watched a lot of Simpsons.
Well, maybe you.
Maybe.
Lately, I've also been spending a lot of time with Freedom Planet.
I know what that is. Sonic
it's
game,
the totally
right?
not Sonic game.
Yeah.
Plays like a Sonic game, but trust us, it's not a Sonic game.
We swear it wasn't Sonic before we got.
Well, it's not a Sonic game because it's good. Am I
right? You mean not a modern Sonic game?
Everything but Mania. All right.
Okay. What are some of the hardest puzzles you've come across in your time playing video games?
Any of the sliding puzzles in Professor Layton. At least the later game ones.
Sure.
I'm trying to think. I guess like Breath of the Wild's puzzles were okay. I just didn't want to deal with them. I used to God. I'll be fucking honest.
No, there were so many. No. Whenever I came across a puzzle or a shrine that I just didn't feel like racking my brain around because I just didn't feel like it, you could just leave the shrine and just say, "Screw it, I'll just find another one. Who cares?"
Yeah, but I wanted like heart containers and stuff. Like I don't know. In RPGs, if I don't feel like dealing with a puzzle, I'm literally just like, I'm not going to stop. I'm not time for this. Like fuck them.
Yeah, Zero Escape 2 and 3 each had at least one puzzle where I got stuck. Like in Virtue's Last Reward, the bio room, I think I spent the most amount of time trying to figure out. And then the hologram room in Zero Time Dilemma, I actually had to look up a YouTube video to figure out where the last bit was that I had to find.
Now, when you guys tackle puzzles, do you like use pen and paper? Because I tend to use a lot of pen and paper when I play a lot of puzzle games, especially in point-and-click adventures, which I'll come back to in a sec.
Sometimes I do, if it's a particularly complex puzzle, but a lot of the time I try to figure it out in my head.
Oh, see, I need pen and paper, like, mandatory. for a lot of these things. Like, I can't even do math in my head, and I'm an engineer.
Alright, wait.
Well,
You want to know what puzzles are bullshit? Resident Evil 1. Fuck that game's puzzles, and fuck old Resident Evil. I said it. Games are bullshit.
Yeah, I have missed on the 3DO, and I like everything I found, I would write it down, and then a possibility of like what it would be related to.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So there's always as the point and click adventure guy that I have become recently over the last few years. yeah, Kevin, I get it. There always seems to be at least one super cryptic, impossible puzzle in all of those games.
Yeah, where you have to hand like a yo-yo to a baby who throws it down a sewer drain, which gets eaten by Cthulhu, which then shits out a turd that you throw at a chicken, and then you get a key to enter the police station.
Yeah, I mean, there's
King's Quest.
There's one notorious one in The Longest Journey with like throwing a rubber ducky outside the window, then it floats down a river, and then you have to summon a seagull, and then you go into a train station where it's really weird. I don't quite remember it, but I remember I just did not even try. I'm like, I don't even know where to begin with this, and I looked it up. I'm like, duh, of course, right?
You know what? Speaking of point and clicks, random question: do you remember Homestar Runner?
Yes.
Did you ever play Peasant's Quest?
No.
Oh, they made like a Flash game King's Quest parody, actually. Anyway.
The game Braid came to mind when he asked this.
Oh yeah.
Like I got stuck halfway through the game. There was something about that game that every single puzzle I just couldn't wrap my head around. Which means every level I just really couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, my brother played like the first screen of Braid and he was like, "Yep, that was a game."
Yeah, like the appeal was amazing. I wanted to know more about what was going on, but I just could not figure that game out. It was so weird. It's one of the few games that I just kind of looked at and I go, I don't get it.
Yeah, there's whole YouTube videos about the correct interpretation of Braid.
He blew up the world.
Boy.
That's it, man. He just blew up the world.
Now, I do have one particular story, and it's related to, because I sent you my answers on the doc. So,
Okay.
when I moved to Germany in 2005,
Yes.
I went on I was learning German. I spoke nothing when I got there. Well, my host brother, I brought my PS2, and my host brother had a PlayStation.
Okay.
And I got my PS2 at the time, unregion locked, you might say.
Modded.
I got it modded, so it could play German games. So I got Silent Hill and Silent Hill 2 and 3.
Okay.
I went on the Silent Hill binge. So not knowing the language and having to figure out some of these puzzles in these games was a bizarre experience. So the best example I had was the piano puzzle from Silent Hill, because I remember it sticking out so much. So you try reading a poem in a foreign language and then trying to decipher the poem in its cryptic Silent Hill-ness.
So you had two puzzles to deal with.
Right, I had to kind of translate on top of the fact of also translating the puzzle.
Turns out
So,
it was just Hitler's Third Reich.
for those that
speech. It was
don't know, the piano puzzle is first you get to a piano, you get to the music room, and there's a piano inside. You look at the blackboard, and there's a music paper kind of thing, and it's bloody. So you look at the piano, and there are certain keys that are bloody. So you're like, okay. When you read the bloody music note, you get a sentence, and it says, "A bird without a voice." Okay? So, eine Vogel mit keiner Hals. It's like a bird without throat.
The Germans
So I'm like,
so angry.
So here I am with a dictionary, my translation dictionary. Okay, Vogel's bird. Okay, that translates to throat. okay, so I don't know where to start. I go to the piano. You hit some keys. Some keys don't work. So you're like, all right.
So you go, Klaus, help me.
And my host family didn't really have. When I was living in Germany, the internet wasn't very good.
Oh no!
So it wasn't really an option to kind of look it up. But so you have to what the hint is it's the muted keys, and you read this then poem, and certain stands of the poem sections give you hints on, like, it'll say the black, or it says the raven had its wings clipped or some shit. So you're like, oh, the raven is black key. Wings clipped means it didn't go far, so it's the first muted key. That's how you're supposed to solve the puzzle, but it's it's cool, but it's so cryptic, plus in a foreign language, you're like, I don't fucking even know where to start. And with no hints, you have nothing to really go on except your own kind of deciphering.
That's my issue with survival horror games. Like, I want a scary game, but like, I don't want to play scavenger.
Yeah,
like, I want
you're just staring at a piano and you're like,
yeah, but like
ding,
that shit's not scary. Ding. It's just like, okay, it's a. I want to be scared. I don't want to play Dora the Explorer.
And then when I got to Silent Hill 3, I also played the Splinter Cell games in German. That was much easier. But when I got to Silent Hill 3, there's the infamous Shakespeare poem where you have the books, and there's like 5 stands of poems based on Shakespearean work. Okay,
weird.
So
right?
Read Shakespeare in a foreign, like, I can't decipher Shakespeare in English. Now expect it in a foreign language that you don't know yet.
Swipey or not swipey.
So you're at this door. The poem essentially gives you 5 numbers, but the door needs a 4-digit code. Okay.
Sounds confusing.
So this one I had to actually like go around the school. Have you played Silent Hill 3? Have you played Silent Hill 3? Nope. Can you go home and look on the internet what this fucking thing is? So then I remember them trying to explain how to solve this puzzle in German, and it's like you have to. This is all top of my head memory. You have to like double this. You have to get the numbers. You have to double Juliet, subtract some other Shakespeare thing, and then just take out Macbeth altogether. And then I'm just like staring at him going, oh, of course, right? Meanwhile, he has like a giant smile on his face. I know, right? Easy. You totally understand. So that's my Silent Hill story of Germany, in Germany.
So nice. Your puzzle was the fact that you speak into German.
It made it just as hard, if not harder.
Yeah, see, that's a game I'm looking up a walkthrough for. Sorry.
Yeah, if you ever play Silent Hill 3, like, don't even bother with the Shakespeare puzzle. It makes no fucking sense.
Deal with any puzzle. I want to deal with scary shit. I don't want to fucking do Dora.
Okay, so going along with the stuck theme, have you ever gotten stuck on a boss to the point that you stop playing the game for a while? So
yes.
Let's not think of final boss. Let's think of like any boss mid game.
Yeah, for me it was Seymour Phase 3 from Final Fantasy X. I spent probably either 1 or 2 hours trying to beat him that one time, and then I just got fed up, stopped playing for a couple of days, and then finally went back and grinded my levels up so I could finally beat him. But oh boy, was it frustrating.
How about you, Kevin?
I had one until you said no final bosses, because Ninja Gaiden Sigma stares me in the face. It's like I have one boss to beat in that game. Other than that, if it was
like
a boss,
ever get stuck on a Mega Man mid boss?
No, not really. Just persistence and learning patterns. Eventually, you get it. Any RPG, through grinding, all things are possible. So.
Sure.
I have a couple of others.
Okay. Go for it.
In Metal Gear Solid 1, the Gray Fox fight took me at least 2 hours to beat.
Yeah,
and I nearly broke my controller. I was so frustrated.
Did you, so you guys are saying, through persistence and whatnot, yeah, you get it.
Anything is possible. That's why that girl won't call me back. I just keep trying and trying. She's like, no, restraining order.
I mean, I have countless examples of me, getting frustrated at a boss. I'll just put the game down, and I'll come back to it tomorrow. But there's two that really have hard memories with me. One was my second experience playing Final Fantasy VIII. And it was the Rajin and Fujin fight in Galbadian Garden. It's at the start of Disc 3. So, what ends up happening is you go into the garden, and then the door closes behind you with a save point. Well, if you are under-leveled before that fight, you're basically screwed. So in my case, if you didn't have a separate save file, you were stuck, no escape.
Oh, shit.
So I had to restart the entire game.
Oh, no.
Because I tried for a week trying to beat these two. And just couldn't do it because I was that underleveled. And there was no place to go. So that really hit me hard.
Sucks.
Doesn't it not matter what your level is in Final Fantasy because it all scales with you?
Yes. However, your level does matter for learning techniques and whatnot. In this case, I was underleveled, didn't have techniques, and didn't have really the items even to beat these guys. It was impossible, so I had to restart the entire game.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I would be like, that was a good run. I'm out.
Yeah, it was a combination of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. The point is that I was stuck and just had to start the game over.
I have one.
I didn't go back to that game for months after that.
I have one minor stuck story. It's another final boss, but whatever. In Banjo-Kazooie, the Gruntilda fight kept glitching out on me where I couldn't hit her. And I was about to just say, fuck it, I beat the game. But I was like, I'm going to give it one more shot, and luckily it didn't glitch out and I didn't die. But I was like, yo, fuck this game. I'm never playing it. I beat it as far as I care.
Now, the other memory I have is playing Metal Gear Solid for the first time.
Cute.
Ah, yeah.
And getting to Psycho Mantis.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, what do I fucking do?
And, it wasn't just me. It was the two friends we were playing together. And Psycho Mantis is doing the whole, I can read your mind. Why don't you blah, 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 blah. So it's, for those that don't know, the Psycho Mantis fight is famous because he basically, the way you beat the fight is to switch your controller port to the second port, and then the boss fight's easy. But if you don't know how to do that, you'll never win.
Yeah.
So here's a bunch of 8 and 10-year-olds just looking at this going, what's going on, guys? This fight's really hard and we can't kill him. I guess we'll try again tomorrow. Nope, still not working. Dad?
Dad, can you bring me some Lunchables? We're working on it.
Dad, what do you do? No? Pop-Tarts, at least, maybe?
Shut up, kid.
If memory serves, I think one of the kids got a hint from calling the help hotline or something.
Jeez.
Oh, change the port. What?
Go in, resolder your PlayStation, make the port 1 and player 2.
So yeah, that's kind of my two hard memories there.
I actually remember during that fight, the only reason I figured it out was because I actually got a random call on the codex from the general guy telling me, switch the controller to port 2.
Oh, wait, he calls you?
I don't know how it happened either, but it did happen.
Game fucking took pity on you. It's look,
beats me. I mean, it didn't happen to JD, clearly.
We tried to make a fucking
We were also really young, so we probably still didn't get it.
It's you're ruining my fucking thing here.
Port what? There's no port on a console.
You gotta port Metal Gear to the Commodore 64, and then you can beat it.
Commodore 64. That was part of my childhood, too.
What are you, European?
Nope. My dad just found a lot of them at yard sales.
Nice.
Well, it's about that time, guys, to move into our theme of the day.
All right.
It's day of themes.
Yeah, we'll get to the other things another day.
All right.
Sure.
So these are remastered games, but we played the originals, not the remasters.
I did both for I didn't say it yet.
I did both for a few of these games. One isn't out yet, but
That's fine.
I did a lot of the originals for 5 out of 6 of them. Well, actually, for one of them,
You cheated!
I watched YouTube videos of the remaster for one of them.
Cheater.
Because I don't own them. Or that remaster.
that's okay. You're supposed to play the original anyways.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start with a heavy hitter, and that's Kevin's first pick,
Which is the heavy hitter?
which is Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot! Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love this game. The PlayStation 1 version is really, really hard because you can't save your game unless you beat a bonus stage.
Which are also kind of hard.
Which are also fucking hard, and I mean, after dabbling with that one, I immediately went back to the remaster. I was like, I'm doing it this way. Like, there's like one of those old game tactics where it's like, there's no need for it to be this hard. Like, I own the game. It's not like an arcade where I'm gonna pop another quarter in and you steal my money. So, like, I just think a life system in platforms is stupid in general. But yeah, there's a reason Crash Bandicoot 1 needed to be remastered. And I'm happy.
It didn't need to be, but it was
Dude, it
well
needed to
welcome.
be. It needed to be.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about Crash Bandicoot?
Crash Bandicoot is a 3D platformer by my fucking favorite studio, well, no, Rockstar, Naughty Dog, and I think this game almost didn't come out, if I remember right. I want to say they had like a bunch of budget issues, and they were like, "Look, we got to do this, and if it doesn't work, we're fucked." There is a story, but like you wouldn't know until like the last world of the game.
Yeah.
Somehow during the game I learned like, oh, my girlfriend's captured by Neo Cortex. I don't know what the fuck that is, but all right. It's like the game just starts with you washing up on a beach. I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is a thing.
Yeah, you got to go save his not girlfriend.
Is it? Yeah, it was weird. But in the remaster, you get to play as Coco, and she was in the first game, and she's way cooler than Crash. I like it. Did you guys like find it? All right. So the platforming is weird because the camera needs to be. It's like right behind Crash's back, but I feel like it needs to be more at an upward angle to see where you're jumping in this 3D space, and that killed me a lot in both versions. Actually, I don't know if you guys had any issues with that.
Yeah, it was kind of hard with the camera angles. If it didn't shift at all, it was really, really hard to actually land a jump on like moving platforms and such. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you couldn't quite tell if there was like a big wide obstacle you had to jump over on a moving platform.
And the bridges can
go
fuck themselves because you couldn't see anything. Oh, I hate the bridge levels of Crash Bandicoot. They were fucking terrible. Especially, I got further in the remaster, but like, knowing what color board was going to do what, and then you had to double jump on the turtles to get extra height, otherwise it looked like you couldn't make that jump. I had to glitch the bridge by jumping myself on the ropes and balancing to get through any of the bridge stages at one point. I was like, yo, fuck this. Like, I'd rather waste lives trying to get myself on the ropes than try to actually legitimately cross these bridges.
That's good.
JD, how'd you feel about any of that?
So this is one of my highly memorable childhood nostalgia games.
Yeah.
And to this day, it's still one of the few games I go back and play quite frequently, is the very first Crash Bandicoot. So when that remaster came out last summer in 2017, I was like losing my mind. And the remaster fixed a lot of the... I think it fixed a lot of the jump physics, personally. It made it significantly easier with saving your progress upon each level. Now, the original is hard as balls because, Kevin, as you said, you have to beat a bonus level in order to save the game. I remember as a kid, my brother and I wouldn't really do that. We would use the beat the game code and then just play level by level.
Oh, well, I guess you were honest about it at least.
Yeah, I can beat the game now. It just takes a little bit of persistence. There's always... The first island is a lot of fun because it gets you to know what the rest of the game is going to be. And it's not 3D, it's like this 2.5D perspective going on.
There's a lot of those levels in the whole game.
Yeah, you go in and out, and then the camera will turn in this half direction. The most famous levels are the riding the warthog levels,
Mm-hmm.
which are among my favorite in the game. Love the music throughout it. I love the running from the boulder levels, which is also it's kind of put Crash on the map with running down the screen. I never had an issue with any of those levels because the game's level designs are kind of ingenious. With it gives you just enough time to react to know where you got to jump, or you just take a leap of faith forward and hey, there's a platform there.
Yeah, but I don't like leap of faith because then maybe that wasn't the way to go.
Now there are a couple broken levels.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, the bridge levels.
Fuck them. Fuck everything about those bridge levels.
And they just get harder.
They can go to hell and die.
It's a matter of the perspective, because you're running up the screen, and the perspective just never seem to match. So you have to go by the shadow, but the shadow will, if you stop pressing up at any time, Crash won't have momentum. He'll just stop in midair and drop straight down.
Yeah, that sucks.
So your mind thinks he's going to keep going, so you're like, okay, I'll let go. Or I'll let go softly, and Crash will just go straight. They kind of fixed that in the remaster, but it still seemingly has that issue, because now since the jump physics were fixed for the game, or tweaked, now there's a different issue with those bridge levels.
Those physics were different, and I don't get it. I'm sorry. I think they feel fine, unless somebody can explain to me what I'm doing wrong. Because I honestly feel like they didn't change really.
Yeah, I mean, there's cool things to collect in levels, so you get a bonus stage. For every 100 fruit you get, otherwise known as Wumpa fruit, you'll get an extra life. So you can farm lives on the first couple levels pretty easily, and then you can go back. That's kind of what you have to do in this original game if you think you're going to get stuck on a level for a while, such as I don't know, heavy machinery, or basically any sort of stage on that third island, which is the last one, or the lab. I hate the lab.
Lab was okay.
It will rip you. There's going to be at least one level for everybody that will rip you apart. It'll take all your lives. So if you ever think, hey, I'm probably going to not get past this level,
you won't.
You need to farm lives on that first island.
Does anyone know what the development of this game was?
So the original concept was Willy the Wombat, I believe.
Oh no, I'm talking about the development name. Come on.
No.
Sonic's Ass.
Oh, the development concept name.
Yeah, Sonic's Ass. And they're like, because it's like a Sonic game, but you're looking at his butt the whole time.
Yeah, so Naughty Dog was just kind of coming into their own, and they were on record saying that, during the time they could have... Because Naughty Dog had developed a fighting game for the 3DO previously, and didn't do too well on the console, and the game was more or less broken. The Atari Jaguar and the Sega Saturn were kind of lost causes, and the Sega 32X wasn't selling well, so the only real option they had was PlayStation. So...
I mean, they put all their money in the 3DO. I don't know what the fuck you expected.
No. They made a game for the 3DO. They
Yeah, I
didn't put a
know,
lot of
but
money
like
into
they
it.
could have.
The game was Way of the Warrior.
Yeah, they could have put like, all right, maybe we should put it on another system other than this one, guys. Nah, we're going all in 3DO, guys. Zit.
But they didn't. That was their only option because a lot of companies wouldn't pick up a brand new studio.
Oh, okay. I thought they were just like, we're gonna go with this guy.
Yeah. So Naughty Dog ended up somehow getting a development console from PlayStation. They had to pay $35,000 for it, and yeah.
That's fucking.
And Sony only, if I'm reading this correctly, the only reason Sony agreed to it and this was if Naughty Dog came up with a mascot character specifically for PlayStation, and if the former Sunsoft director David Siller was involved in the game production.
Weird.
Oh yeah, I remember when we were playing Arrow the Acrobat. You mentioned that.
Yeah, so the mind behind Crash Bandicoot had already tried with Sega once before, and it didn't work because there was too much competition in a lot of those kind of 90s mascots. We went over a lot of it on our missed mascot episode. Yeah. So there was a lot of concepts kind of thrown around with just character design and how the game was going to be, and Naughty Dog just kind of got lucky, but a lot of research did go into trying to hit the Japanese market. So I believe it was Andy Gavin of Naughty Dog who went to Japan and read a bunch of manga, watched a bunch of anime, and tried to figure out like what would be popular over there, since Sony was a Japanese company.
Oh yeah.
Fucking weed.
Ha.
No, that was it. I mean,
That's called dedication to your job.
yeah, and I think wasn't this the only Crash game that Naughty Dog did? No, they did the second and third one.
Yes, they
after that,
did in
they're
fact
done.
knock this out of the park. Now, a fun little tidbit about the game was they wanted to show the first Crash Bandicoot at E3, otherwise known as Electronic Entertainment Expo at the time, and they were actually not allowed because Universal Studios wanted to take credit for the game.
What?
Weird.
Yeah, a lot. There was a big stink between Naughty Dog and Universal and acquisition rights of the character before the game came out, which led to a lot of issues.
Did not know
So
that.
yeah, if Universal had its way, we could have never gotten Crash.
Wow.
Well, luckily we
Interesting.
did, and they pumped out a sequel a year later somehow. It was a good game.
Yeah, and it only got better for the next two, and then it just kind of phased out after that.
No, I disagree. It just went fucking everywhere with no control.
Well, Naughty Dog wasn't involved anymore.
Yeah, and then Vivendi and Activision were just like pumping on fucking everything. It's giving him tribal tattoos on his forearms. That happened.
It became a disaster. What ended up happening, but
That happened.
so hopefully with the success of the remaster, it sold quite well. We might get a new Crash it somewhere down the line. I don't know. It's definitely seeming to be a trend that Sony wants to kind of remaster some old mascots and bring back some new IP. We're seeing that with another game on the list.
Transition.
Yeah, which was your second pick, Kevin.
Ned fucking Evil.
Okay, before we start, guys, I have to confess, I don't have the game in my possession.
You go to
nor
hell
have
and you
I had
die.
the time to watch any videos, so I will literally have nothing to say with this.
Oh,
so
bummer.
I'm going to take this opportunity to go to the bathroom because
You're breaking
the coffee's in my
kayfabe.
bladder.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Kayfabe.
Sorry, dude, but this is important. I don't think I could do the rest of the podcast without going to the bathroom. So I'll let you guys
Open up a
fight it
can
out.
and just fucking pee in it. You're good.
Just get a cup.
Just don't cut the head.
All right, Kevin, tell
Yeah,
us
sure.
about Medieval.
I mean, I'm gonna have my own confession. I started playing this last minute because I was like, "Fuck, I gotta try Medieval before the podcast." What I got is it's a weird mix of like a 3D platformer / hack and slash.
Yes.
Like a very early hack and slash, and this game's fucking ugly.
It does not look good.
No, I can't. I couldn't tell what the fuck I was doing. But all the levels are set up like mini, kind of like obstacle courses where you got to find a room to get to the next part of the level, and then you got to do something there, get another room, and you keep doing that till you get to the end of the level. So, it sounds simpler than how, like, what I'm saying than what it is. But
well, in layman's terms, yeah.
Yeah, in layman's terms, it is. I guess video games comes down to look at screen, push button. Am I right? But you go around and you're just killing zombies and just doing what you have to do to beat the level. But the fun part comes with trying to kill enough enemies in the level to fill up a chalice percentage, in which you find a hidden chalice in the level, and then you get transported to a place where you get more power-ups, and you just fucking keep going level to level, and I don't know the evil wizard's name that you're trying to beat. Manifesto? Does that sound right?
I have it written down.
Attaboy. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but the
Zarok.
I was not close.
Zarok.
Yeah, it's a cool little game. It just didn't age well. I did forget to tell the story of Sir Daniel Fortescue.
Please tell the story of Sir Daniel.
The most bravest and noble of warriors. I don't know what the war was called because, fuck history.
The war against Zarok's undead army taking over the kingdom of Galomir.
You know what? That's a fucking generic-ass name for a war. But anyway, that's
what it was. Evil sorcerer raised an undead army. Galomir must be saved.
I don't know if I had a cool name like the Battle of Fortescue or something. Anyway, I sound like Jack Black there. But yeah, he kind of he's leading an army, he's ready to charge, and Sir Daniel takes a fucking arrow, the first arrow launched in the war, hits him in the eye. And he's dead.
And somehow he goes on to be he like legend says that he's actually the hero.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but history.
Yeah, I cracked up when I saw that scene because the game has this epic recounting of Sir Daniel being the hero of this crazy war that broke out, and it's got voice acting and everything. And then the first cutscene is there's Sir Daniel, arrow in the eye, he's dead. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's
and then it becomes a running joke throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's funny because I've only been to the Hall of Heroes twice. I didn't kill enough enemies most of the time, and one of the first things you get is a crossbow in that game. So
Thank God you do.
Yeah, you talk to one of the guys on like the statues, and they're, "Oh, Sir Daniel, I'm so happy to see you. You're such a great warrior." I'm like, "Yo, you were there. You know I died like right away. What the fuck?"
No. They're filled with sass and sarcasm.
First guy I thought he was
British. The whole game's British voice acted throughout that. Oh, Sir Daniel, I'm so happy to assist you on your heroic journeys.
I thought the first guy was like, "Oh, Sir Daniel!" Like I thought he was pumped to see me.
No, it's they secretly make fun of Daniel constantly. It's really hilarious.
Ooh.
It's subtle British humor at its best. Oh yeah.
FYI, I'm back, folks.
Fucking, we didn't want you back.
Well, too freaking bad, man. Listen, you're stuck with me whether you like it or not.
Kayfabe breaking motherfucker.
Oh, I'll break more than that, pal.
You need, in order to get to the Hall of Heroes, you do need to fill up the chalice meter, and then you find the chalice.
Now, do you need to go there? Like, crossbow's cool and all, but like, it's not.
You need to go there because that's how you get your upgraded weapons.
Yeah, but like, it's not like a requirement.
No, but it makes
definitely
the game
helps.
It makes the game actually playable.
Okay, because like I got the crossbow, and I'm like, oh. And then I got like a second health file, so I was like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, you can get up to, I believe it's 4 extra health vials.
So if I get 100% at one level, can I go back and replay it to get another chalice, or?
Well, you find these vials across levels.
No. I'm saying, like, if I get the chalice in one level, right? Like, say I do the first level, I get 100% in that level.
Yeah.
Can I just replay that level and get 100% again in that level? And it counts?
Yeah, you can play the levels as much as you want.
Yeah, but will it count towards the chalice?
No.
Okay, see, I learned how to keep track of it. Like, what levels did I get a chalice in?
Well, that's why you should try to get the chalice your first time going through each level.
Fucking overachiever. I couldn't do it every time.
I actually found it pretty easy. What I struggled... So, my first experience playing the game was as a kid on a demo disc, and I didn't like it. Mentioned it on the last podcast. So going back playing it this time, I found out that I struggled with the delayed controls so bad because my controller wasn't in all the way. So I was raging and not realizing, because I was going off my memory that the controls were shit.
Oh,
so I thought it was natural. So then I fixed that, and the controls were only not as shit.
Did you play analog or D-pad?
Analog.
Yeah, don't play D-pad.
Yeah, D-pad makes it worse.
D-pad,
as I found out very quickly.
Yeah, if you just use the D-pad, you walk, and if you double tap, then you run, and if you do that, you have brain damage.
Yeah, it's kind of a nightmare if you play with the D-pad.
Also, the camera's shit.
The game was made preferably with the analog sticks in mind, and was one of the few games to do dual analog stick with the right analog stick being a camera.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, because when I was playing it today, like the right analog stick does nothing.
So what ends up happening is it kind of pseudo turns the camera. It's not full camera motion. Because what ends up happening is the camera will quote unquote bump into walls because that technology hadn't been figured out yet.
No, but like
so
I feel
it basically feels like the analog stick does nothing.
Man, I was using the L2 and R2 buttons the whole time. I feel like.
Yeah, so you're better off just going with L2 and R2 to move the camera in a much smoother motion instead of the bouncy motion that the camera basically does.
I swear that they don't do anything.
And there are certain parts of levels, and this is where the camera basically makes you feel gross, is it gets to a fixed overhead view, and it basically makes it looks like the room's spinning if you move Sir Daniel too quickly in a circular motion, which you might have to do a lot.
Fortescue. Say it properly.
Fortescue.
Fortescue.
Now a funny thing the game does, which speaks well to its humor, and they don't overdo the humor in the game at all, is you will never lose Sir Daniel's arm as a weapon.
Oh yeah, that's right. You won't.
Yeah.
But shit.
Because a lot of the Hall of Hero weapons don't break. It does have weapon breakage in the game, much like Zelda Breath of the Wild.
No. At least my fucking big canonical sword doesn't fucking break in this game. Unlike Breath of the Wild. So
your Hall of Heroes weapons do not break, but your weapons you find in the levels do break, such as the club.
Fine, I'll take it.
And there's certain parts where if you don't have a club, you can't progress in the level.
Yeah, that does suck. But they would normally give you one like right there.
It's rare, but it does happen, which is kind of game breaking.
Yeah. I can live with it.
Luckily, you can save the game upon being on the world map. So you would just have to kind of restart the game and just start the level over, assuming you did save. So do recommend that. There is one level in particular, I believe it's the second one, where you fight a bunch of gnomes. And one thing the game does that's pretty cool is if you have the sword, for example, Daniel will kind of crouch and also swing low to hit enemies according to their size.
How do you do it?
He will do it automatically.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. I didn't.
It's a cool little animation additives they've done. Because with such other weapons like a sledgehammer you end up getting, you have to kind of power it up, and it's hard as shit to hit a lot of these enemies sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it has kind of this radial damage it'll give off.
Which is weird for a sledgehammer in real life. It does not do that, but...
Well, it's like an earthquake. It'll damage weaker and weaker as you leave the epicenter.
Nice, you're playing Pokemon now. Use earthquake!
Actually, I was using geology terms, but okay.
Yeah, look, we're not fucking all wizards like you.
Yeah.
I'll go fuck myself.
You do eventually get a pretty sweet broadsword that you can power up, and he swings in a 360 circular motion. Which I believe you got to, at least, Kevin.
No. I just had the normal short sword. I'm only at the Sleepy Village right now.
Okay.
Yeah. If you hold square, it just does that power move.
A lot of the levels seem to be pretty samey-ish, but there are some standouts. One particular I want to mention is the Scarecrow level, where it has this pretty awesome farm/Halloween scene.
Yep, I did like that. I don't know how I progressed in it. Somehow I magically moved the cart when it was supposed to. Like, I don't know what I did.
I did forget to mention that there are certain enemies that will, particularly a gnome, that will steal your weapons.
That did happen. Yeah, I was really mad about it.
Yeah, and at that point in the game, you don't have enough money where you can just buy it back, and it does take a while to get quite a bit of money in order to buy the weapon back. So,
and I blow it all immediately. Crossbow bolts.
Yeah, you need a lot of crossbow bolts. You need the crossbow because a lot of the boss fights require a ranged weapon.
But you can buy throwing daggers.
You can buy throwing daggers, but they're pretty damn weak.
Yeah,
I believe they're actually weaker than your arm.
I don't know.
Yeah. The crossbow bullets at least bounce off walls and shit, so you can get it. There's a few bosses that I don't know how you would beat them without the throwing daggers or the crossbow bolts.
Yeah, no, like those dual dogs I had to fight. I can only do that with crossbow. If you got closer enough, I could hit you.
Yeah. Yeah, this game was developed by Cambridge Studio of Sony Computer Entertainment. They went through a lot of development issues with the game, just trying to figure out how to use kind of a 3D control scheme. The other thing they had an issue with was the game sold basically nothing in Japan because Japan just didn't like a skeleton being the main character. They wanted, their Sonic, their Mario, or their bland RPG insert self character.
Yeah, but I don't know. Sir Daniel was he wasn't something you would expect, which is why I really liked him.
Well, Sir Daniel was well received in the West. In the East, it wasn't received at all.
Oh.
Which is why we only basically got 2 games.
Yeah, it took me. The second one's not on PSN. Kind of disappointing.
The guy, and not shockingly enough, surprisingly, was basically the guy behind it. Chris Sorrell was behind the James Pond series, which was another game not really received well in the East, but in the West.
I forgot James Pond existed, actually.
Yeah.
It's a cool little game. He needs weird stuff. I like it. I'm cool with that. More medieval. Good thing we're getting that remaster, which is not what I thought Sony would pick first.
I don't know. I mean, they did put Sir Daniel in their version of Smash, so...
Yeah, but they also put in Big Daddy and Dante and, other guys that weren't exclusive. I feel like when I saw Sir Daniel, I was like, I'm stretching. Okay.
I don't know. A lot of their PS1 mascots, they were in that particular game, which is why we did get a Parappa the Rapper remaster. And... It's hard.
It's just bad. The remaster I heard was real. They couldn't get the delay right.
Yeah, you can definitely see the Tim Burton kind of Nightmare Before Christmas art concept.
I want one. It's just an. If you're gonna play,
we can assume that the remaster is going to be both games, and that'll be happy. I hope it's going to be the PS1 remaster or the PS1 games, and not the PSP remake that came out.
Is it bad?
The PSP remake was unfinished. It was rushed, and they took out the need for you to kill enough enemies in a level.
Oh, really?
To get the chalice and go to the Hall of Heroes, so it took away a lot of the challenge in the game.
But define unfinished. What's bad about
it? They didn't really change anything other than making it easier.
That's
Like, the controls were still bad.
Oh, well. Okay, that's different. I was
Yeah.
going to say, unless it's like a glitchy mess. Because I was thinking about playing that version, but I didn't know if it counted as the original or not. So I was like,
No, it's worse than the PS1 version.
yeah, I think the PS1 version's fun enough, though. I'm going to keep playing it, actually. Is the thing.
It's a charming game that I wish I liked more. I felt the camera was just gross. And if they fix that alone, maybe
That's more of
spruce
like
up the environments like
it's a
like
fault
the
of
Crash
the
Remaster.
Maybe.
To a point, yeah. I mean,
I want a medieval God of War game.
yeah. Actually, that might not be too bad. A hack and slash. Yeah, I mean, it is a hack and slash in the hack and slash genre.
So Kratos cross Daniel Fortescue. Got it. I want that actual game to exist.
Oh boy.
I am
All right,
the God of
moving
War.
on. Moving on.
No.
We gotta go through this. My pick is next. It is Metroid 2: Return of Samus on the Game Boy.
Hell yeah.
That game was okay.
Game was very okay. I couldn't put it down.
Well, that's more than okay then, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for a game to come out in like 1991, to put together, it basically fixed all the problems I had with the original Metroid on the Nintendo being floaty. They added a save system in this on the Game Boy of all things.
Yeah.
There's no in-game map in a Metroid game, and that was pretty detrimental to me.
Oh yeah, me too.
I did get stuck in that game a couple times, and there was no reference material. Like, I even tried to find like someone's ASCII map online, like in a GameFAQs, and it is impossible.
Yeah, the game
it's pretty tough.
tries to fix this with being a little bit linear, especially in certain areas. The whole objective of the game is it takes place right after the first one. Naturally, it's a sequel.
As it should.
Yeah.
And
You're on
basically
a murder
the universe
mission.
is like, Metroids are bad. We have to kill them all. Samus, go murder them. They're on this planet.
Yeah.
You should always just go around eliminating races just because you don't understand.
There's
Am I
39
right?
total Metroids you have to exterminate in the game.
Right.
And the Metroids, actually, you see their alpha and gamma phases, their next forms in the game. You don't see the actual Metroid, their quote-unquote larval form, until the end when you fight the queen.
Yep. Yeah, you have to go through a whole gauntlet of those ones to get to the queen.
I was real weirded out playing this, and I saw like the normal Metroids, and then once I started seeing like the new forms, like you said, I was like, these aren't fucking Metroids. What are these? Like, I didn't understand. Like, I was like, I only know Metroids as the little ball things. Like, I saw Gamma and I killed one, then a counter went down. I was like, did I do something? I didn't know what I was doing.
So, to progress in the game, you have to kill all the Metroids in a particular area, and they're just called like Area 1, Area 2, Area 3. They don't have interesting individual names like most Metroid games do. So upon beating or killing each Metroid, the screen will proceed to shake, in which this indicates that lava is being receded in areas you couldn't previously access.
Yeah.
Is it sad it took me a long time to figure that out?
No, because your only indication is the screen shakes. You don't know why it's shaking.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I was like the first time I unlocked an area, I was like, okay, the screen shook, and I'm like, I guess I opened a door, and then I would go back, like, I don't know where to go next, and then I magically dropped down an area. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not dead. Like, sure.
A couple of the game mechanics that were fixed was the floaty space controls, and the fact that now you can duck.
Yeah.
Also, Spider Ball all the time.
Yeah, that was
best
fun.
power
Although it
up.
could be a little slow.
It was slow, but man, it helped exploring. Like, if I was stuck where to go, I would literally just Spider Ball around the border of the area. And normally it worked, especially if you needed to find like a hidden wall, you just bomb up to it.
Yeah.
It worked.
Although there wasn't much indication as to what was hidden.
No, and that has a problem with the Game Boy Color palette. Like, there was no hints. It was like Metroid 1 where it was just like, yo, fucking good luck. There might be something here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because of things like that, you do miss out on some power-ups, but luckily the game is made where missing those power-ups are not detrimental because the game design actually gives you all the power-ups you need to progress through the game. So for example, after beating the first Metroid, you're immediately given the freeze ray and the morph ball bomb.
Yes, you do.
Or the ice gun.
Yeah.
And you can pretty much get through a majority of the game with just those two weapons.
Well, I felt like you had to, because the way you switch weapons is really confusing.
Yeah, you basically have to completely pause the game.
Well, no. And don't you have to go to the statue and it's like, you got the freeze ray, you got the spread shot. I'm like, I fucking got these before. And like, because it's a giant maze, I'm like, did I unlock it again? Like,
yeah, that's what I had to do too.
Yeah, I didn't know any other way to do it.
But any gun upgrade that you do find, you might as well just stick with that because they are better than the ice beam, but you can get by in the game with that. Same thing with getting like the spider ball and the what is it called, the spiral jump, I guess.
Oh, screw attack.
The screw attack.
Screw attack. Yeah,
fucking everyone knows the screw attack, nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, I found this screw attack / space jump to be a lot more finicky than when I played it as a kid. Because when I was a kid, you just pressed jump and it worked automatically. But when I was replaying it on my 3DS, it wouldn't work unless you were pushing the D-pad in a certain direction for some reason.
Yeah, so you had to go... The only way it works is you have to pretty much go in the opposite inertia way and press the jump button again at the... Not the height of the jump, but like as it starts to descend.
Yeah, that was really confusing for me.
It didn't make any sense when I did it. I was like, why can't I hit it now? Hit it now.
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay, got it.
But man, for a Game Boy game, this is fantastic. Like, there's very little I can say negative about it without it just being like, yeah, I mean, it came out in 91. What more do you want? And it's a handheld. Like, I can't really just be mad at those kind of things. They did what they with what they could.
I can.
And the sprite was more detailed than the NES version.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there were so many things that were better about the original game.
But you had to play that Super Game Boy, get that color palette.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually do have a bit of a life story relating to Metroid 2.
Go for it.
My brother, he had a Game Boy before I did growing up. My mom and dad were very restrictive with what game consoles we could have growing up. And, my brother got a Game Boy and he got Metroid 2. And we were both trying to figure out how to progress. Of course, I didn't get to play it as often as he did, but somehow, without a map or a guide, although I suspect maybe some of his friends had Nintendo Power magazines, he was able to get to the final boss and beat it. And I was amazed back then, and I'm amazed even now, since as an adult I kept getting so easily lost. And I think at one point I couldn't progress because there was one single Metroid I had neglected to kill, so I ended up searching all the areas up to that point until finally I found a live Metroid. And then after that, I saw the screen check, I was like, oh, finally.
In there. That was literally me.
Yeah. I mean, you can beat this
game
in
I do not know how my brother
3
did
hours.
It. Although I think when you're a kid, you have a lot more patience for the game, for a video game.
You also have a lot more time available.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
for sure. Yeah.
I was in full desperation trying to find a Metroid that would just make the world shake. I could not do it because it's not how many you kill; it's how many you kill in that area before the lava. Because I've been to 2 areas and I killed some here, killed some there. And I checked with the guy. It's like, if you have 25 Metroids left, you must be at this point. I'm like, I'm fucking not. I've missed one somewhere. I got so stuck, and I was like, I'm screwed.
Yeah, I kind of cheated in this because normally, if I had more time, I would make my own map. Mm-hmm. I just didn't do that, so I just looked at a map online. It told me where all the Metroids are, so I just did it that way.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, Metroid's cool.
It didn't deter from the game at all. I was just like, wow, if I didn't have this map, I would be lost.
Yeah. And I watched a couple of videos of the remake, and it looks pretty cool. I like the menu and intro music.
Which remake, though?
Samus Returns.
So not AM2R.
Yeah, I didn't have time to get around to that. Although, a while ago I watched a Some Called Me Johnny video where he played that remake, and he really liked it.
Yeah, it was well received. It's a game a lot of people forgot about, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Probably because it was just a Game Boy exclusive at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking...
And then I guess it also got overshadowed by Super Metroid when that came out.
It did, and I wouldn't have put the sequel to Metroid on a Game Boy. I probably would have called it like the spin-off. But, you know,
maybe.
I'm not Nintendo.
Well, the end of the game, you've killed all the Metroids, and you run across an egg. It hatches, and that particular larval Metroid kind of attaches to Samus.
Yeah,
it loves you,
and it loves you. It helps you escape the base.
It's like, are you my mommy? You've murdered my whole people, but you're my mommy.
Yeah, and I'm as I got through that part, I'm like, why didn't Samus just kill it then and there?
Yeah, now she has feelings. She went from a merciless asshole to now I got feelings, Metroid.
Yeah, maybe it was just because that Metroid didn't instantly try to kill her.
Oh, fucking, wouldn't your first reaction be like, get the fuck away from me! And shoot it, like...
Yeah, I guess back then it would have been hard to render that kind of reaction.
So, also what you're saying is Samus yelled, stop resisting, and it didn't resist. Got
it. Use your imagination on that one.
Stop resisting!
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this game. It's quite shocking to me that it came out when it did and how it did.
Yeah, it's a nice blast from the past for me.
It was good. It's a good game.
All right. So my second and last pick, shockingly enough, guys, I didn't pick weird games, did I?
Finally.
I picked DuckTales on the Nintendo.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Oh boy.
DuckTales. Woohoo! Which you, stupidly, did not play in the most convenient way ever because you didn't know existed.
Well, I have the game on the Nintendo, so I was like, alright, there
Stop
it is.
it. Play it on the Disney Afternoon Collection with save states and a rewind button.
See, I didn't know the Disney, whatever collection you mentioned existed. Afternoon Collection.
Dude, it was like the biggest announcement, what was it, last year?
I knew it existed, but I forgot it existed right before this podcast.
Dude, that thing is a fister right to shelf collectors in their butthole. It's like, ooh, DuckTales 2! Ooh, it's right here, Chippendale 2! Ooh.
I actually have DuckTales 2 on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I actually had it that way too. I'm like, I ain't paying fucking $500 for this shit.
Now, I do have Chippendale Rescue Rangers on the Nintendo as well. I don't have Darkwing Duck.
Do you have Chippendale 2?
No, because that's like a $300 game. Or
and if you
before.
bought the Disney Afternoon Collection. But anyway,
so
anyways, yeah.
DuckTales is based on the Disney cartoon. Yeah. It was produced by basically people that made Mega Man, and you can definitely see a lot of elements in it.
Yeah, I remember when Mega Man used that poker stick.
Yeah. Game came out in 1989. First in North America. Came out later in Japan.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, makes sense.
A Game Boy port came a year later. After initial release.
It translated really well. But that's, not here.
Correct. The remastered version was made by Way Forward.
Oh.
Yep, the Shantae people.
Yep.
It came out on the Wii U, 360, PS3. Basically, they kept all the same music, but the remastered version got kind of a negative feedback because it was just this generic, easy Disney platformer. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, I suppose. It didn't, like I said, it wasn't received very well. However, what was received well was this particular DuckTales game. It was developed and published by Capcom, hence the Mega Man feel. What's a Capcom? It's an action platformer in which you are Scrooge McDuck, not Huey, Louie, and Dewey.
They don't really do much.
Huey, Louie, and Dewey are scattered throughout the 5 levels, and you just kind of find them, and they're like, "Thanks, Uncle Scrooge."
Yeah, Uncle Scrooge, are you gonna pay for my college? No, kid, give me cake.
No, kid, I'm Scrooge. I only like collecting money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can work in my sweatshop instead.
And that actually does play a little bit in the game. So this was actually the first game I played for the podcast, and I played it until I beat it. And so the game is hard as balls at first, in my honest opinion. And then all of a sudden, it's not.
Yeah.
You just get it.
Pretty much.
There aren't any continues or and once you get a game over, you have to start the game over. So this is how I recommend you play the game. Since there's 5 levels, you can play them in any order. There's no password system as well. You first play the Transylvania level to get that extra peg of life.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and hug walls, because then you'll find hidden paths where you can get more money or lives. Then you play the Himalaya level to again get another extra peg of life, and that's maxing out your available life that you can get through the game. And then you can do the other 2 levels in any order and finish with the moon level because it's the hardest and it's very Metroid-y, which means you have to explore a lot. Yeah, a lot of the game is kind of level exploration.
Yeah, but
pretty much.
Isn't there like a giant flaw where like if you do the wrong level at the wrong time, it'll be like, nah, you can't be here right now. Like,
so in the Transylvania level, there are mirrors that you teleport into, and when you play the minecart level, it goes, no, you need to get the key, which is in the Transylvania level, which is in the first mirror. Then you get the key, and it takes you back to the main screen. Then you go straight into the minecart level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that felt like pointless backtracking to me.
I mean, it takes like 11 seconds, so I don't really understand the point to it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But like, I liked in the remaster how it was just like, hey, you do this level, whatever.
Eh.
You know? So go fuck yourself.
You explore the levels until you get to a boss level, or a boss fight. Each boss takes 5 hits and are really easy. Much easier than the game itself.
Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck has 2 attacks. His main one is jumping, and when you hold down on the D-pad, he does the pogo stick jump.
Oh, yeah?
He uses his cane like a pogo stick, and then you bounce on enemies like Mario would.
I did not like the pogo controls.
Yeah, they weren't too intuitive. It kind of makes it that in itself makes the game hard, but I found that you do get the handle on it pretty quickly, and then all of a sudden the game's easy.
Oh, you get the handle on it, but like the first time playing it, I was like, "Why I'm hitting B? Why isn't it going?" Like, no, you gotta hit B and down. I'm like, I don't have this many hands. Stop it.
Yeah.
His other attack is when you go get next to objects, he'll kind of wind up his cane like a golf swing and then hit the object.
Yeah, that was fun. I actually kind of liked how when you did that against a wall, he kind of vibrates cartoonishly.
It was good little touch.
Yeah. The game has a lot of points where you can fall into endless pits and immediately die.
Ah, yeah.
It's a leaps of faith.
I believe in the Himalaya level that comes into play. I know the snow prevents the pogo from going very high.
Yeah, you don't bounce.
And there's certain jumps where you have to jump with no enemy coming, but as you're in the jump, the enemy will come up from below, and that's how you would get across. There was one moment that made me rage a bit, and that's on the Amazon stage.
Oh yeah,
which is the very first option, which I again don't recommend you play first. Is you get to the top of the level, and this is when you meet what's his face with the helicopter, and Launchpad. Yes, thank you. You grab onto the rope, and he'll take you to the next part of the level. However, there's a bee that will show up on screen, Ninja Gaiden style, and hit you. And the way the damage is detected is Scrooge will kind of go backwards a little bit and get knocked off the rope. And if you fall from that rope, you immediately die. The B is unavoidable, so you have to take the hit while pressing up and left. Otherwise, you will die on that. It's the cheapest thing in the game I found in my playthrough.
Yeah.
And the music's fantastic. It's incredibly memorable.
Yeah. I actually have a life story relating to the soundtrack.
Man, you're full of them, man. Go.
Yeah. So, back in 2009, me and a friend of mine went to Youmacon in Detroit. There was a concert being played by the Spoony Bards.
What?
They were like a game track cover group. Now they're called Arc Impulse, but anyway, Spoony Bards.
It's a Final Fantasy.
We're listening to them, we're enjoying ourselves, and then all of a sudden they start playing the Moon Stage music, which I think is like the most popular. And I immediately was like, holy shit, I love this song. And then, so later on, actually the next year, in 2010, they came back to Youmacon.
Way later on.
And then, yeah, anyway, they...
Way later on in the past.
we go to another one of their concerts at Youmacon, and then they're like, we're not sure what song to play next. Got any suggestions? I yell out, DuckTales! They're like, okay, I heard DuckTales. We're gonna play the Moon. I'm like, fuck, yes!
You're like, no, I meant the Amazon forest. I was like, shut up, nerd.
It is one of my favorite memories of all time.
I would love to see somebody play that thing live.
And you can beat this game in under 50 minutes.
If you're a wizard. Dude, this game's hard.
Yeah, I found it kind of frustrating that you couldn't attack in midair, aside from the pogo jump. But aside from that, it was pretty...
Yeah, if he had some kind of like he'd be held like a pool cue and like poke enemies with it, that would have made it better.
Yeah, I agree. If that swing attack was a normal thing, it would have made the game much more manageable.
Yep.
But that's my only real gripe about the game. There are 3 different kind of endings to this, based on how much money you have.
No.
So if you have $4 million, you can actually get an extra life. You can spend money, but you're Scrooge McDuck. That ain't gonna happen.
Wait,
yeah.
$4 million?
Yeah, to get an extra life. There's one ending where you have any amount of money. And it's Scrooge looking over a bunch of money, and he's like, hooray. If you have over $10 million by game completion, Scrooge is basically swimming in his big pile of money he collected over the game.
Yeah. Insert the thing from Family Guy where he dives in the coins and
this isn't soft at all.
Yeah, College Humor did a similar thing.
And then there's an ending where if you have 0 money, where Scrooge looks all sad and he's like broke.
How the fuck do you get 0 money in this game?
So before you complete the game, you use all the money to get lives, and then you die a lot until you have exactly like 4 million to spend on another life, and then that's just how you get. It's considered the bad ending, but I find it the most hilarious because Scrooge looks all sad and broke.
That's like rewarding to be like, I spent all the money in DuckTales. It like gives you like jewels everywhere.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny. I kind of looked it up. I was like, I wonder if the endings are different. And I'm like, oh yeah, there is.
Nice.
Because there aren't many retro games that have alternate endings.
Have you heard of a little thing called Chrono Trigger?
Oh my god, yes.
Oh my god, it's like the RPG.
Well, speaking of RPG, let's get into Josh's picks, eh?
Well, he's not fucking here, so fuck Josh's picks. Kyle, what'd you play? You played Josh's picks.
Kyle?
I said Colin?
Oh, I thought you said Kyle.
Oh, not that yet. Jeez. Fuck!
I didn't really pick anything for this one.
Well, what were Josh's picks that are now yours?
Oh, there he is. Shut up. This is canon.
You gotta stick with kayfabe.
Okay. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII and Zelda Ocarina of Time. 2 games I like quite a lot.
They are really good.
So let's start with Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation.
It's not.
Funny thing, when I was a kid, I actually ruined the plot of this for myself because at the time I didn't have a PlayStation, and in the near future it wasn't really feasible for me. But I still wanted to know what the hell was going on in Final Fantasy VII because it was all over the place. So I read a plot summary on GameFAQs. And then when I actually did play the game, I found myself unable to really get invested because I already knew everything that was happening.
So you knew
I didn't enjoy it as much as I probably could have if I hadn't spoiled it for myself, but I still liked it.
What did you?
I still like seeing discussions.
Did you ruin
Anyway?
Aerith dying?
Everybody knew about that.
Oh, so you went into it like that? You were like, I ain't putting her in my party. Like I am so thankful. I knew because I played Final Fantasy VII maybe 5 years ago, and if you've seen any video on the internet, it was like Aerith's death is so touching. I'm like, well, I'm not fucking putting her in my party when I play this game. This could be a waste. I never used her because I'm like, this is worthless. I can only imagine how screwed people felt when they did that. They were like, all right.
Did you guys know this game had a marketing budget of $40 million?
Excuse me?
Really?
Oh yeah, it was ridiculously high. It almost broke Square Enix.
Good thing it paid off.
Oh my gosh.
Or Square,
No wonder it got so popular.
They were like, you better fucking like this game. Imagine if they put on
dead meat.
If they put on a super cool system like the N64 and you had to play it 47 cartridges.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
for those that don't know the plot of Final Fantasy VII, you're Cloud Strife. You're an Marine gone renegade, and there's a terrorist organization called Avalanche bent on destroying the Shinra Electric Power Company because the world's kind of in this pseudo slum to rich type thing.
Dystopia.
Very Battle Angel Alita-esque, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Dystopia.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's dystopian as fuck, man. It's got a lot of lovable characters, memorable, in fact, with some very memorable full motion video on pre-rendered background moments.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
even
the game
by today's standards, they look good.
Yeah, the game holds up quite well despite the kind of funky little character models.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that almost ruined the game for me, I'm not gonna lie. When I played this, I was like, whoa, Cloud, in all concept, I was like, Cloud looks fucking cool, man, and then he's just like this little stupid Popeye arm looking little shit.
Yeah.
Cloud sucks.
Yeah, I remember being confused by that as a kid.
Yeah. Cloud
especially since in the battles, they look so much more defined.
I have to confess something.
Yes.
I still have never beaten this game.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah?
Even for the podcast, I only played up until completing the cross-dressing section.
Yeah. You got to that part, you're like, this is as far as I need to go. All right.
Fun fact, that is being kept in the remake.
Of course
Good.
It is. If it wasn't, I would riot. I need to see my favorite kind of videos.
But as I was playing this, the game mechanics still hold up quite well. I did really paying close attention to the game. The battle system is very intuitive, but the way you use what's called materia takes a little bit to kind of understand. There isn't really any hand holding involved in kind of an important aspect of the game for leveling up and making things better for your characters.
Yeah.
That was a confusing system to me.
Say again?
That was a confusing system for me.
Oh yeah, there's no real explanation on how to properly use it. Final Fantasy VIII had a similar issue themselves with something like that.
And then they got real fucking crazy in 10. They were like, it makes no sense.
No, it made perfect sense to me. I love 10's
My
system.
healer became my fucking warrior magically. I was like, this is...
I've done something wrong. What about Blitzball? Let's play Blitzball.
Lulu became an actual stripper, and I was like, what did I do? This is a weird mod.
What?
One thing that this game changed as opposed to the kind of the overruled Final Fantasy that preceded it was the active time battle system, which is really cool. So it's almost like putting this turn base in real time, where the bar has to fill up over the course of seconds, and then you can attack. During this time, that's when the enemy attacks, or can attack while you're just about there. So it really keeps you on edge during all battles.
Yep.
Unless you're like me and thought this system's stupid. When is it my turn? I did not like this system at all. I was like, come on.
At first or now?
No, still. I hate it.
Still, you don't like it?
Just like we're wasting time. Like, come on. My turn, your turn. I know how this works. Like, let's go. Like, I hated Chrono Trigger system too.
Aw. Sounds like you just hate a lot of RPG systems.
No, I like Chrono Trigger. I was like this one thing. I'm like, is it my turn? Like sitting there watching my face get beat in. I'm like, anytime. Like, I was over it.
It makes you develop a strategy
Patience
based on the system that's in place. It's like, okay, my character takes this character takes this amount of time in order to attack, so maybe I use a more powered character that can attack quicker or can use items quicker, etc., etc. Yeah. And the story is very engrossing. Let's face it.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, it's engrossing, but at the same time, it makes no sense. Like,
well, it gets very convoluted in sections. That's
it does.
Yeah, I'm hoping they kind of streamline or flesh that out a little better in the remake.
I want them to, but I can already hear like Square Enix and fanboys being like, "You ruined the purity of Final Fantasy."
Yeah, to those people, I say, no one is taking the original away from you. Yeah, it will always exist.
Yeah, no, they're just like, look, here's fucking weeaboo mode. Here's like the rest of us normal people mode. Fucking.
You know what? I actually had a friend on Facebook go on a big old rant about how there were going to be a few changes made, and he literally said in that, "I don't like change."
Yeah, look, the internet hates two things, Colin. When things change and when things stay the same, okay? The internet hates that shit. Like, I already don't like that it's going to be episodic, because, like, they said, like, well, each episode's going to be the length of a full RPG. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing to fill all that time? Like, I feel like it's going to be, like, some bullshit. Like, you got to do, like, 80 chocobo races before you can watch Aerith die.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, lots of speculation.
I'm just curious where they're going to break up the game. Like, where would the first game end?
I would
be right after
they do it, like,
they escape Shinra.
Right after the cross-dressing section.
No, I would assume, like, every disc would be one episode. Like, that would make sense, right?
I don't know.
Well, isn't quote-unquote Disc 3 or Episode 3 really short?
Yeah, Disc 3 is when they fight Sephiroth. So what Disc 3 is going to be is you have to go back and find all of Cloud's women clothes, right? Then you have to dress him up. You have to go to Sephiroth, seduce him.
The alternate ending.
I wrote my own fanfiction about this. You guys should read it. I have pictures on DeviantArt/GuzzleCat.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Cuts to Sephiroth stabbing Cloud in the back instead.
He stabs him in the back with his sword up his special.
Oh jeez.
All right, as we move on to our last game, it is Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah,
this game's real good on anything but N64.
I played this game not for the first time, but for the first time to completion for the podcast.
Ooh.
Ah yeah.
This is one reason why I did not end up playing Final Fantasy VII to completion.
That's good. Yeah. That's a good reason. I accept that.
So, yeah, the game's good, guys.
Good talk. All right, yeah. Ocarina of Time.
It's Zelda. Ganon bad. Go beat Ganon.
All right, here's my issue with every Zelda game. I love Zelda games. I'm a Zelda fan. But fucking, man, do they recycle shit. And I know Ocarina of Time is like a big revolutionary game, but like I still fought the same bosses. And I was just like, okay, what am I got it. Like, fight Goma, yeah, whatever. Like, oh, look, I got a boomerang again. Fucking look at that. Like, Ocarina of Time's a good game as a
I'm not
whole.
sure how. No, I'm not sure how intuitive it is to find all the items, or to go to the dungeons, because I did use a kind of a walkthrough just to kind of go through the game as quick as possible.
Yeah,
and I didn't find. No, I didn't use a walkthrough to like solve puzzles in the game or anything. It was just go here, that's how you get there, kind of thing. And then when I got to the dungeon,
who
I
does
put it
that?
down.
I did that.
Say it one more time.
I cheated. I totally
You
fucking
cheated
used
by
the
a time?
walkthrough. Yup. Because like for me, like the best part of Zelda games, I actually like the fighting. I feel like I don't like the puzzles. It's the opposite of what Zelda is, but to me, I love the combat.
I found the water temple very tedious and unnecessary.
Yup.
Yeah.
I didn't find it hard. It was just not really. I'm like, why did they do it this way?
Nobody's ever said that about the water temple before.
It reminded me of the Mario 64 level with the water levels changing based on where you jump in the painting.
Oh
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, depending on what height you jump into the painting, that's where the water level will start on that.
I remember that, but I didn't know how to control it. I thought it was random chance.
Weird.
Look at that shit.
Yeah, so I thought it was like something like that. It wasn't very intuitive, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, it's not obvious.
Yeah, nobody loved the water temple ever.
I found actually the fire temple the most annoying, based on the enemies within it. It was just irritating. So I actually got more mad at that one than the water temple, because the water temple, my feelings were just, oh, okay, now I gotta go back. Oh, I gotta go back again.
I like how they kept it consistent. And like, everyone fucking hates these. Let's make it worse.
And the one
there was this weird dungeon progression that was kind of like that.
They did fix it in the 3DS version where like equipping the iron boots wasn't such a pain because you could just do it on the touchscreen.
Yeah, I could see that being better.
It is.
Yeah, going into the pause menu and changing all the boots was what I mean. I wasn't irritated. I was just like, what? There's all these buttons that you're not using. There couldn't just be a quick switch.
Even in playing on GameCube, I thought they would fix that. They did not.
Yep. The only dungeon I found equally as annoying as the water temple was the forest temple. I got lost so many times in that one.
That's the tutorial.
Maybe for adulthood.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to get lost.
I don't know. I didn't think it was impossible, but I treat that like the tutorial level in this game.
I'm trying to remember because
the forest tree.
Oh, you're probably thinking of the Deco tree,
Yep,
Kevin.
you're right. I'll fuck myself.
Yeah, the Deco tree was kind of weird with the. I guess how did it go again? You got to use the wind or something.
Yes.
You got to pay attention to which way the wind is going, and that's the correct way to navigate that little Deco maze.
That was in Wind Waker, I think.
Yeah, but they kind of
reuse
these assets all the time.
Yeah.
These ideas.
And I remember some wind puzzles in Shadow Temple.
They did it in Breath of the Wild as well. Following the wind of the torch being blown to find where the Master Tree is.
I thought that was cool.
The Master Tree, the Master Sword.
The Master Chef. That was a cool mechanic. Yeah,
but there's so much charm. I found the Z targeting very easy to control. The camera wasn't seemingly getting stuck in walls like it was in Medieval.
You're talking shit.
Talking shit about what, Medieval? Yeah.
All right, good. Just making sure. It's got issues.
A lot of issues I hope fixed in the remaster, but yeah, Zelda was a good time. It was, there was stuff that irritated me, but it wasn't like game breaker or anything. I was just like, okay, I gotta go there. Fine.
Yeah.
I did feel like it's treated like the first open world game, but that fucking world had nothing in it.
Yeah, much like Breath of the Wild, am I right?
Yeah, actually, that's one of my issues with Breath of the Wild, too.
You can definitely tell that Breath of the Wild took a lot from Ocarina of Time.
I would argue it took more from the first Zelda. Like, with all the secrets and, like, exploring and being like, I don't know where the fuck to go.
Okay, well, in that, I'm like thinking of the overworld kind of thing with the empty fields and.
Never mind.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess I'm saying.
You're sad.
Don't try to prove me wrong.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Colin, Ocarina of Time. What else you got?
Am I forbidden to mention any thoughts on the remaster, or
no? I did.
No, you can go with the remaster.
I haven't played the remaster, but I've seen
out.
But watched a few videos for some of my favorite moments. Think this is just like a small detail, but the spiritual stones look better in the original because they actually look like magic jewels, whereas in the remaster they just look like see-through plastic.
That is a random ass thought to put into this bouquet.
I know, but I remember as a kid finding those jewels just look downright gorgeous, especially for the time.
Is anyone traumatized by the Great Fairies?
Don't bring them up.
They're hideous. Fucking scary looking.
They're hideous in both versions.
In Breath of the Wild, they are fucking worse.
Oh no.
They look well, not worse, but they look real fucking ugly in that too. Like,
I don't know, Breath of the Wild, they remind me of like opera songstresses.
That doesn't make them less ugly to me.
I think it was a joke towards that.
Fucking.
I actually, this is the last one, I swear. Another small life story for me.
Go for it.
Basically, around the time the Game Boy Advance came out, and it was being all hyped up, I remember, for some reason, I had the idea in my head that it was going to be like a portable N64. And I would constantly fantasize about being able to play Ocarina of Time portably, because at the time I didn't have an N64. I wanted to play all the way through it. And then, so I ended up saving up all my money to get a Game Boy Advance day one.
Okay.
Imagine my disappointment. It was more like a portable SNES. I mean,
feel
it was still
like
a good system.
You made out perfectly because this was bad.
But it was still a good system. It just wasn't what I was hoping for at the time. And And yeah, I know the remaster exists now, but given it doesn't look like the original, it wouldn't really scratch my itch for my childhood fantasy. But
doesn't get that nostalgia glasses going.
Yeah, I know, but I can't turn it off. Anyway, but if they put the N64 version on the Switch Virtual Console, and given you can play that portably,
the what
then
virtual console?
My childhood dream would come true.
The what virtual console?
Switch.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, the Switch doesn't have one.
Nintendo, can you get your fucking shit together?
Yeah, really.
No, it's a Neo Geo Virtual Store.
How about no?
All right, so to run down our 6 games one last time, it was Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation, Medieval on the PlayStation, Metroid 2: Return to Samus on the Game Boy, DuckTales on the Nintendo Entertainment System, Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation, and Zelda: Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64. Kevin, which one was your favorite and least favorite?
Medieval. Medieval's number 1. I like it. I like it a lot. Least favorite, though. This is going to sound counterproductive, but again, it's only because I fucking hate the N64. Oh, wait, I played it on GameCube. I'm not going to be mad at it. Man, I don't know. What did I not like the least?
It sucks, because they were all good games.
Yeah, they're all really good, and I don't want to, shit on one because I like it. Like, none of these are actually bad for once.
That's why I kind of phrased it least favorite.
I don't know. I'm only going to say Zelda because the original release in N64, I hate that controller and I hate that system. But if you played it at anything else, it's cool.
Alrighty, fair enough.
Yeah. I don't hate
Colin.
I think my most favorite is probably Ocarina of Time, even if only for nostalgia.
Name.
Because it just feels the most solid to me, and the best to pick up and play. Because like Final Fantasy VII, that's a big time investment, even though it's an awesome game. And DuckTales is kind of short, but it still plays pretty solid.
That is going to be the intro, is DuckTales.
I missed it the first time.
Metroid 2.
Oh,
Metroid
wait.
2 is so easy to get lost.
Can I switch my answer to Metroid 2 for least favorite?
Sure.
Alright, cool.
Done.
As for my least favorite,
This is the third Final Fantasy game we played on the podcast. You know that, guys, right?
Well, I don't have time to play these. Stop picking them.
what were the other two again? I can't remember.
Final Fantasy 1 and 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, for my least favorite, I think I'll also say Metroid 2, because easy to get lost and just basically that, but it's still a solid game. No map.
Yeah, that's why I'm changing mine. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That game's kind of fun.
So we got a universal least favorite on Metroid 2, unfortunately. I'm not going to say Crash Bandicoot's my favorite just because I want to pick something else. So, I'm going to pick Zelda Ocarina of Time. I feel that if I would have finished Final Fantasy VII, I would have ranked it higher, but I can only go off what I play at this point, and that's going to be Zelda 1. So,
Go for it.
Hooray!
I believe in you, man.
Well, that was episode 15, guys, of the Retrocast.
Woohoo! This was fun.
Somehow we didn't have technical difficulties based on how we started everything.
So this is a bad time to tell you my Audacity is recording everything.
What?
Hey, just joking.
Fuck.
Yeah, I could feel.
Don't even do that.
I could feel the fucking anger in your voice. You're like,
Oh, jeez.
okay.
It's like the small percentage of my mind that was like, if that's true in any way. I don't believe him, but if it is. Alright, so that was episode 15, Remasters. Colin has the next topic. We'll discuss it off air. Join us next time, hopefully, for the Game of the Year cast, actually.
Yeah. What do we have a date on that?
We'll figure it out.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
This has been the Red Leaf Retrocast. Kevin signing out. Vote for Kevin.